What's up, everyone? HX9 here, and I am hosting for you right now for the AG Weekly number 130. Here's our desk. We got Natty1337, aka Beatdown Boulevard. We got Pulsable here at Pulsable Media, and Swan OW. This first match is going to be between Zooey Mama, number 2, and Tempos Pink. Not misspelled, by the way. Don't you tell me that that's supposed to be Tempos. Like multiple tempos, just tempos. I don't know. It's kind of cool name there. So what do you guys think here? Obviously jumping right into the action here pretty quickly. Where do you think this one's going to go here? We saw Zooey Mama so much last week. I'm excited to see him again.
I could tell you got excited. You said their name real excited when you introed there. That was intense.
Said their full
I'm here
name.
for it.
I'm here for it.
Honestly.
I'm the hype man. That's what I do.
I actually do know a bit about these guys. A few of the players on Zooey Mama go to the same uni as me. So I've casted for a few of these guys. Probably going to be seeing Alex on the main tank tonight. I do believe. Saw him yesterday. Pretty decent on that Reinhardt. I think he got focused down a little bit by the teams I saw him play against yesterday. So hopefully Zooey Mama does a better job of giving him the support than the ASU D2 team did. I'm calling you out, team. Love you guys. But yeah, I think there's definitely some good players on this team. I'm excited to see where they can go.
Well, that's great. You know, my favorite player from Zooey Mama, though, Absolute Tori, one of my good friends, actually. Currently out, though, going to be coming in later if they can win this match, so have to see if they make that swap later. Now, Tempos Pink, new team to me, but I'm sure that they're equally as strong a team here. Let's talk about maps, though, here. We're going to see them on Dorado here to start. We're going to be jumping into the map pretty quickly here with Swan and Pulsable, but coming up, though, after that, Ilios, and if they do go 1-1, we will see Eichenwald. So no potential for a tie on these first two maps outside of some crazy Dorado thing. Game settings getting updated right now. So, Dorado, folks, let's pass it over to Swan and Pulsable to talk a little bit more about that map.
Alrighty, thank you very much, HX9. Well, the Dorado is a map where we see tons of high ground. You know, a lot of times on first point we will see those Orisa holds or the dive tank holds. But what we see, even more commonly, what we saw today in a lot of the contenders stuff is goats, and also some goats. So you have that to look forward to. Stream.
You
some
know what?
resident
Also
sleepers
saw
out there.
more goats.
Yeah, you did in fact see even more goats. Now, the Widow pick sort of fallen out of fashion here on this map. We'll see what Zooey Mama choose to bring out on the defense. They will be defending first. They will be in the blue, Tempos Pink in the red. It is not Tempos Red, though. It's Tempos Pink. Haha, bit of humor there. Looks like they will be bringing out that Orisa with the Junkrat defense, so very good for spam. Oh, never mind. They might be going for some swap. Wow, defending. That's pretty late swaps for defenders. But it does look like they are bringing out that Orisa.
Yeah, Orisa. It's a pretty interesting comp for first point Dorado, I would say. Because usually you would want to run a Reinhardt so that you have the little bit of a luxury that you can fall back up really easily and then play close to the fountain, play close quarters. But I'm excited to see how this rest is going to turn out.
Yeah, this is a bit like of an older type of hold. Ooh, Trez already with the first pick onto Thani. That's gonna cause Tempos Pink to hold back a bit. But the Orisa isn't uncommon. It's just a bit outdated. With the Junkrat, you try and hold, you spam through that choke point. Dang! And if you're Trace, you just hit all of your shots. Wow.
Just click heads.
Yeah, I mean, pro tip, if you kill them, they can't win the game if you kill them well enough. I mean, that is, that's pro level.
That's the game of Overwatch.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like, Zooey Mama is going to get the car all the way to the little archways, I guess let's say. That's going to be a good spot for Junkrat to just spam damage. Looks like he's going to be taking the high ground position anyway, so he's going to have 2 gateways to start spamming damage from his little area he's doing right now and also the little corridor. As soon as they can force him out, they can probably push in on it, but it's not going to be enough. We're going to see Killer Queen die to that Junkrat spam.
Yeah, and Trez finds the better of Trident on the Widowmaker, winning out that Widow duel. getting some nice damage in. You see a bit of swaps coming out from Tempos. 19 is now on the
Oh.
Reinhardt rather than the Winston to start. But the problem is Reinhardt's not going to be able to protect your backline when Trez is just going around the shield. Now he's got the Infrasight out. This is hard for Tempos Pink to get in here.
Yeah, it's kind of stuck in spawn. It's unfortunate because his Sultai is taking out Triton. We're gonna see the Riptire being used, but it's gonna get destroyed instantly and taken out right after. So that looks like it'll be the opening picks that Tempos Rose is gonna go in.
Oh, well, you would think that they go in, but 19 already down. No main tank to protect them from Tress on that Widowmaker. Just, man, Tempos Pink. This is where I think I'd like to see them do some wholesale swaps. I think, as much as I hate to say it, oh, maybe not, actually. As they take out Tress, there will be a res onto him, so it's not over here for the defense, but Trident proving that they can maybe make this work. Although, like I was saying, I think, as much as I hate to see it, I think I'd like to see Tempos maybe try out that Goats, force this Orisa to get a bit uncomfortable. That's not going to be the way they go, though. Trident finding better trace on the Widow duel. Now, no res up for that Widow. It will be a 5v6 here. It's all on main LMB to try and find value. And Alex going down as well. Self-destruct coming out, not quite catching anybody out here. Another one coming back the other way. So, oh, Tempos. They have a lot of ults in the bank, actually, to get in here. And now there's no main healer for the side of Zuimama.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. They're able to res Halex back up. He's gonna pop the supercharger and actually force the rest of Tempos Pink out of there. That was pretty unfortunate too, because it looked like they were gonna win the ensuing fight because Trident, he was able to win the Widow duel. He's not gonna win the duel against the Brigitte though, as it's gonna wait a bit longer for them to go on the next push. It's gonna be their final push too, going in on a minute.
Yeah, and Tempos just aren't getting aggressive enough right now, I feel. Right now is a meta that really rewards aggression, and they're just sitting back and getting picked off one by one. You know, they can get Trez here, but it's just, you need to push off picks when you get them, and you need to get them with a bit more decisiveness if you want to try and play a slower pick composition. They do have the EMP ready here, so Skulltula could turn this around for his team in this team fight.
They have to wait a little bit longer because Trident was taken out in the Widow battle. He's just losing these to Trez, and I think the rest of Tempos Pink is just scared of him.
Yeah, and the Riptire Infrasight is out now. main LMB finding the main healer. Trident going down yet again. Zuimama dominating here on this point A defense. 6 seconds remaining for Tempos Pink. They're on the point, but it's just Blade 90 or 190 rather. And now Mini D.Va not going to be able to survive very long. I don't even think anyone can touch. That's going to be point A Dorado wrapped up nice and quick.
That was a pretty interesting comp at the beginning that we were talking about. It was pretty unconventional from usual comps we see on Dorado, but Zuimama is just surprising us.
Well, and like I was saying, it's not necessarily an unusual comp. We used to see that composition all the time here on Dorado. It's just a bit outdated considering the meta we've run into. Now, most of the time, you know, the Goats comp has enough barriers and enough healing to mitigate the Widow and the Junkrat damage and just push on through that Orisa without any sort of problem, but that wasn't what Tempos Pink opted to do. They tried to out-duel the Widow, out-sniper, and then play a much slower style, and I think they just played it too slowly.
I think what also hurt them too was that, like you said, they weren't playing slow, so I think the better option for them was to go into the stairs and then take the high ground. They finally figured that out in the last fight, and by the time that rolled around, we're at an ultimate disadvantage.
Yeah,
so
and they didn't really go
able to take
stairway
advantage of it
together either. I mean, it was sort of just Bethany over there on the side, I believe, who got caught out by a Riptire. And with your main healer down, especially when you're playing a slow composition, that you don't have any sort of pushing power.
Yeah, we're gonna see them actually run the Orisa. They're gonna try to replicate it, but without a Junkrat. So not a lot of spam damage like we've done into the choke or into the ensuing pass to force the attackers to think differently.
Yeah, and this is going to be a very aggressive style coming out from Zuimama. The Wrecking Ball main tank with Doomfist and a Genji, so they're going to be looking to get into the backline. They've already done it. I main LMB finds Killer Queen. Mathani down 2, no healers for Tempo's Pink. And Zui Mama looking to wrap this one up nice and quickly, get onto the few surviving members of Tempo's, run them over. Payload's already underneath the archway. I don't even think anybody from Tempo's Pink is going to get back there. An emergency Wrecking Ball from 19 is going to attempt it, and just a little late. Zui Mama wrap up that first map in a dominating fashion.
I think the star there in that entire attack was Tress on the Doomfist. I think he's going to get played a game with it too. No, actually, it's going to be I main LMB, but like I was saying, Tress, he's just gone into the back line and just tossed them up, allowed his secondary DPS to go in, get a lot of good chunk damage in there too. He got the supports at the beginning of that, so no sustain for the defense to fall back on.
That's what happens when you run that Genji 2 on defense. You don't have the Junkrat to deny the aggression. But to talk about that aggression and more, we're going to bring HX9 and Beatdown back into the mix for a moment. Ugh.
Well, I'll throw it to Beatdown here. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties that I'm going to solve right now.
Okay, I guess we're throwing to me then. Well, pretty quick round here. I think it was already mentioned before, a lot of the issues that Tempo's Pink were too slow, not aggressive enough, not taking advantage of the few advantages they made for themselves. You get a pick, you finally start putting some pressure on Trace on the Widow. You don't do anything about it. You kind of lays your way over to the fight. Either Trace gets rezzed or has enough time to come back from spawn. And Skulltula held on to that EMP for way too long. It was definitely something that could have been used and probably could have been leveraged to at least capture point A. However, it wasn't, and getting full held on Dorado is really hard to overcome. You saw it here.
Well, what do you think? What do you think Tempo's Pink can do to try and get back on into the series as we go to Ilios?
Aggressiveness. I want pure aggression. Seriously, they need
Just
to
press Q.
Just no, not that.
Press Q.
Quiet,
Press
stop it.
WM1.
No, well, kind of. I mean, in this case, yeah. Especially because it looks like they're running the GOATS composition. Just get aggressive. Just push your advantages. And that's all. I'm going to leave it to you guys.
All right, we are heading on to Ilios. It will be Lighthouse first. And like you said, Beatdown, Tempo's Pink rolling out with that GOATS composition. The classic Moira GOATS. So, again, a little outdated maybe, but still perfectly viable. They will be looking to get a bit more aggressive. Meanwhile, Zui Mama, is that an honest-to-God Symmetra I see them running?
That is a Symmetra. That's more interesting than any kind of GOATS comp you would see. So we're gonna see him actually getting a little bit aggressive here, getting on the high ground, just trying to forcing him into the little room. I don't know what they're gonna do with this guy right here.
Yeah, and Tempo's Pink look pretty confused by it. They sort of just sat there, and meanwhile, Killer Queen got found in the backline. It's now a 5v6 in favor of Zui Mama. They do fire back onto the mech, but they lose their main tank of Trez. Somebody needs to deal with the Symmetra. Oh man, Trez just rolling them over on this pick. And Tempo's gonna go off the side, reset.
Oh, I have no words. Like, who's gonna expect the Symmetra pick? I mean, sure, she got buffed, but it's still unexpected.
Yeah, well, I mean, Zui Mama doing a good job of dealing with that. Well, of making it work at least. Now they're gonna try and make this blade work. I mean, LMB goes in, does find one, finds two. So there's the value already out of that Nano Blade combo. The wall preventing the front line of Tempos from really helping out the back line. They sort of just rotate to the point, and now Brutal Stagger onto Blades 190. Going to stall out Tempos even further.
Yeah, well, they might have gotten any value from that fight, but they're able to draw out the Nano Blade and the wall, which, in my opinion, wasn't really needed in that fight. But either way, we're going to see Tempo's Pink actually have a good chunk of ultimates on the ready for this next coming fight.
Yeah, there they are. The rally comes out first. They do also have a grab at their disposal here, so if they can find some members of Zui Mama, they'll be good. They gotta avoid the self-destruct. They do it adaptly, and now they can push on back in. They can try and get aggressive. Oh, a massive bio coming out from Fuchsia. Iman LMB goes down, but 2 down for Tempo's Pink, and now an Angry Monkey slapping him around, going to shut this fight down. Just over 20% remaining, and Tempo's not able to make anything stick yet.
I don't think Tempos knows how to work against this. I think they're just as much as confused as I am.
Yeah, I mean, when
sure
you're...
they have ults, but it's still, they got 99%. They got to touch point pretty soon.
Yeah, they've got to try and get it in there. Now the Symmetra ult is out on the board here.
Oh!
Massive boot from Golden Eric onto the tank line of Tempo's Pink. Gonna shut this push down. It's desperation here for the few surviving members of Tempos, but no one can even get back to the point. Zui Mama wrapping up Lighthouse.
They're just making this look like a warm-up round at the moment. Like, jeez. I think Symmetra would be the GOATS killer in this comp.
Well, you know, Symmetra, once you get that beam charged up, and it does charge up nice and quickly now, can deal a lot of damage, right? A lot of short-range damage. If you can get the healing onto that Symmetra, maybe it's a bit difficult to deal with here for Tempo's Pink at the very least. But not sure how viable it might be against other teams. I think, yeah, and Zui Mama gonna agree with me. It looks like Tress will be swapping off over onto the Roadhog, interestingly enough.
Roadhog Hammond. Oh, that's a pretty interesting combo. Unconventional, I would say. I don't even
Unorthodox at the very...
unorthodox, yeah. But we're gonna be seeing Iman LMB on the Pharah. That's pretty much staple for him. He's pretty good on the Pharah. He's gonna be going in, raining down all the rockets onto the low mobile supports in the back. Getting the kill on the Killer Queen. Ana getting pretty low, forced to fall back. He's gonna get taken out though on the retreat, and it looks like it's gonna be a one fight for Zui Mama.
Yeah, Tempo's Pink kind of just all over the place right now. They're not necessarily reading what Zui Mama is trying to do as well as Zui Mama is doing it, right? Zui Mama just easily, it seems like they just walk up into Tempo's Pink and just do whatever they feel like. I think Tempo's Pink might want to try and regroup a bit and focus what they want to accomplish tactically.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing. Actually, they didn't have a lot of ultimates on that, so they're gonna have to rely on pure outplay and skill to win this upcoming forward. Or they could go with a drive push to get a good chunk of ultimates out of the enemy team. But it looks like it's going off to a rough start. Golden Eric getting the kill on Skulltula and Trident falling after. Both of the DPS out of commission, so looks like it's gonna be a retreat for them.
Yeah, with no DPS, there's nothing threatening Zui Mama into the lines of Tempo's Pink. They walk right in. I mean, hard to deal with a Roadhog when he just walks up into your face and goes, "Yes, I will take this space. Oh, and also your life while I'm at it."
Yeah, unfortunate for the DPS. Like, they haven't done much. I mean, sure, Trident has his ult, but Tracer is a pretty fast ult to do. They need to hurry up and figure out what the DPS need to do. They need to go in, get good picks, and then they could just win the fight from there. But it looks like it's not going to be the case. 19 and Killer Queen both fall, making this a 4v6, 5v6, my bad. Chest falls, but it looks like it won't even matter. They're going to go in, push them all the way towards their spawn, and not much that Tempo's Pink can do.
Yeah, I'd like to see Tempo's Pink maybe switch off onto a composition that better enables their DPS players. The Orisa is a very slow main tank and not going to be able to dive in with the high mobility DPS that Tempo's Pink are running. Oh, Iron Man LB with the barrage overhead finds 2 right off the bat. Maybe a bit overextended. A lot of Tempo's Pink was kind of further back there. Ooh, now a nano onto the baby D.Va. Not gonna save Blades 190. Trident finds 1 onto Tress with the pulse bomb, but taken out immediately after. It's 99% here on the point. Zui Mama looking to wrap this point up, wrap up this series. They do just that, and they're gonna move on to the semifinals.
That just looked like a warm-up round to me. I mean, I said it before, but not much that Tempo's Pink could do. They weren't playing aggressive. They just let Zui Mama roll over them, just stay stationary.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure. We like HX9 was saying, we haven't really seen Tempo's Pink much. Maybe this is a newer roster. Maybe it's one where they're not quite sure how to play around their strengths best yet. Because we saw standout performances from a few of their players. Trident specifically seemed to be very adept to me, but not finding the coordination to make it work here against Zui Mama. But we're gonna bring HX9 in and Beatdown back in as well to see what they thought about these teams.
Well, I will say this, it was definitely a very one-sided map, right? I mean, let's be honest here. That's about as fast as an Overwatch game can go. You hold them on point A, you push the payload in the first try. You go 2-0, 99% both rounds. I think that Tempo's Pink here was just trying to get into a tournament and may have just, not be at the quite at the skill level they need to be. But honestly, it was just nice to see them show up and just play in this tournament. I was very happy to see a team show up here. Definitely some cool members on their team there too. So if I were them, I'd just get back into the training grounds, get right back to it. Don't have much more to say than that. Beatdown, what's your assessment here?
I just think Tempo's Pink kind of lacks a bit of understanding here on team composition. That their comp on the Ilios well was a little questionable in the sense that they pretty much had a dive comp ready to go, except their main tank was Orisa. It's a little awkward, and like it was being said before, with an Orisa and the rest of your team being dive characters, it's really tough to actually get a good dive or make the space for your DPS or even do any damage with them because, you're running alternating styles in the same comp. So I think if they just manage to, get a better understanding of what works where, I think they'll do a lot better.
All right. Well, I do hope they do better here in a future round. I'm looking forward to seeing them again. Tempo's Pink, thumbs up to you right now. With that, though, while the next match is setting up, we are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be in the semifinals of the AG Weekly. Stay tuned. What's up, everyone? HX9 here. We're back. We're still waiting on the semifinals here of the AG Weekly number 130, but we're going to bring the desk back in here to talk a little bit about the balance changes that are out now just recently with Ash Patch and what's coming up, because we know Doomfist nerfs and Brigida nerfs on the PTR right now. Might be fresh in everybody's mind. Yes.
Yeah, nerf.
Question mark?
No, big question mark. That's a thonker.
I was gonna say, just today they put out a PTR batch where, like, sure, they nerf her shield bash damage, but they buff all of everything else.
So her heals per
Ghost
second.
is never gonna die.
Heals per second for her go up from 16 per second to 16.3 per second. Is that
Also,
really that much of a difference?
No, but they also increased the duration of Inspire.
And
That's
they
the key
increase the
thing.
cooldown too, like when
Let's
it can
keep
be
in mind,
triggered.
The only time duration of Inspire matters is when Inspire is not being refreshed. So really, even though it feels like it's a little bit longer, in general,
That
there
means-
only might be one extra tick in a fight in general.
Well, but that means
can
if your
make a
Brigida
difference.
gets zoned over onto the side and isn't smacking anyone, there's a longer, like, grace period
So two
until
ticks.
she becomes useless.
Let's say she heals
But
3
actually-
people. That's an extra
Two
3
ticks,
people
two
twice.
ticks can mean the end of the
Doesn't
fight
mean-
with how some of these people live and die in, like, a lot of matches.
Yeah.
Well, let's
Well,
do
like,
that.
two
Let's-
ticks is enough.
That's a grand total of 16, right? 16 heals 3 times. 16 times 3? Come on.
48.
Come on. 48 times 2. So that's a grand total of an extra 100 healing in a fight if she gets those 2 extra ticks from
I also want to know.
100
like,
HP is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good amount.
Huh.
I also want to know how would this affect
That
her
negates some nice
with
Winston
their
damage, some nice
increased
Diva
healing?
damage. Like, it's not gonna do anything if they have, like, a Dome Fist, but, you know, it wasn't gonna do anything anyways.
Maybe it's a little bit more mild than I'm letting it on to be.
I think Goats is still gonna be a thing, if not slightly improved due to this. So I don't know if they were trying to get rid of Goats, this is not how to do it. Also, what they should have done what I've been saying all along and nerf Tracer.
Oh, wow.
Nerf
Bold
Tracer
word.
more?
No, listen to me. They made Brig, because of
Oh,
dive,
yeah,
but
'cause
let's
Brig
be
can't
real,
one-shot her
because
anymore.
of Tracer. No, Brig can still one-shot her. But here's the problem.
No,
No,
anymore.
her shield bash
No,
damage
her
went
shield
down
bash
from
damage
50 to
is
5.
5.
But no, the reason they made Brig, it's to shut down dive, but let's be real, it was to shut down Tracer. And because of that,
Yeah.
and people always praise Tracer as the one who could do everything. Well, if you're going to make a character shut down the one who can do everything, of course she's going to be meta-defining.
Yeah. And somewhere, Sabiel B sees that 50-5 nerf, and he is just smiling.
He's just giggling.
He's like,
Yeah,
yes,
at the
I
same
won't
time,
get
he's
cut
looking
this
at his
season,
dog
thank
like,
God.
yeah.
But Overwatch isn't based on these one-trick people, though. I just,
It
you know,
was
as
for a
much,
while.
Sabiobi is the whoa.
As much as
Sabiobi
I-
is not a one trick. Sabiobi is not a one trick.
Sabiobi is not a one-trick, but there are a couple players in Overwatch League that really struggled with learning new heroes. And,
Asher.
yeah, as a result, not to name Asher names, but and you know, a couple others too.
Munchkin.
And also just different roles. I mean, AKM struggled quite a bit going out of Hitscan when Hitscan became out of favor. So
I mean, he just couldn't play Widow. That was his problem.
oh, I better turn that off. But my point is that with that in mind, I just feel like that certain roles right now do not have the agency in a non-Overwatch League setting, and that is at major odds with how Overwatch League is playing out. So when I go into solo queue playing a support and Tracer comes out there pre-Brig, I can't stop it. If I want to switch heroes, I have to switch to a DPS to take care of Tracer. Whereas with Brig, I'm able to switch to a hero and I can then have at least some say in the game. In Overwatch League, though,
That was the idea.
Tracer can be somewhat, though maybe not 100%, she could be at least shut down because your team would support you. So I think these things are at odds. I think that's a very big problem for Blizzard right now in terms of solving balance. And I think, again, GOATs, maybe even that's another issue here that
What
we
do
could
you mean?
talk about.
What, the issue of the fact that Ghost is just so prevalent? You know, I'm starting to become okay with Goat's meta, and let me tell you why. Because it's not just like the same goats we used to see anymore, right? It's not just, all right, everybody go 3-3, it's going to be Moira, it's going to be Reinhardt, and we're just going to run at each other, and whoever dies first, right? It's starting to get a lot more nuance in these specific plays and ult management and positioning. It's starting to get different archetype. Like, Goats has become like its own archetype, right? Because you have, variations in the healers, you have variations in the tank line, right? You have Dive Goats coming out, which is a Goats comp. It's a 3-3 comp, but it doesn't play like that smash 'em up comp that the original Goats was. So I'm with the variation we're starting to see, I am starting to become okay with it.
I never had it. Okay, no. My only issue with Goats was like low level play, where it wasn't such a big deal. Because this stuff you're talking about with Goats in the higher tiers of play isn't really anything new. Like, we've been seeing Ana Goats, Zen Goats ever since Ana became relevant. Because as soon as you had the opportunity to get Moira out of the picture, they were
Sure,
better
but
options.
it's been slowly developing that way, right? Because it was Moira Goats, only Goats for a long time, and then
Yeah.
Ana got buffed a little,
I don't know
and
about
then
a long
Ana
time.
came
It
in
wasn't that long.
for a few months.
Nah, that's a stretch. It really wasn't that long until because they introduced Brig, and it wasn't too long after that when Goats didn't come out right after Brig was released. Brig came out,
No.
people used them for a bit, and then the Goats team actually brought out that comp during,
Yeah.
I think it was the Beat Invitational.
It was the
or
Beat
something.
Invitational. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
They slapped everyone with it.
literally everyone, like that 14-meter spawn hold on Route 66, literally changed my life.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But
Yeah.
but like, I say slowly because it has been like a few months, right? It's been what?
I guess.
I'd say 5 months since we first saw Goats ish. I think that's right.
Yeah, when-
Eight? No, would have been this. The second Beat Invitational would have been in April, I think, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
So it's been
May, June,
7
July,
months.
August, September, October. Wow, yeah,
Right?
that's true.
Since the since we first saw Goats, right? And Goats meta didn't, come up immediately once Goats brought it out. Other people
No.
had to figure it out as well. But with the variations we're seeing in Goats now, especially after World Cup, where you give all these high-level, top-tier players time to figure out how this idea of a 3-3 composition can interact with each other. I'm liking the start the variation we're like beginning to really see. I think as more heroes come out as well, that variation is gonna increase too, because we don't just see 3-3 anymore. We see 3-2-1 comps, right? With McCree or Doomfist or Sombra, right? And I bet like Ashe is gonna be thrown into there when we see her into competitive play, right?
Yeah.
So Well, I definitely think that the game needs some tweaking. I'm not personally on board with the whole this is all garbage and we need something drastic to fix it.
All right. I mean, that's fair.
fine.
That's fair. But one thing I would say is, though, if GOATS does continue to be the only comp we see played in some games, let's keep in mind some teams are basically only running GOATS. I think that is a huge problem. Again, if you're able to just run one comp and there's no true counter to it, that symbolizes an issue. The other problem with GOATS is how it affects other compositions, like, for example, any of the 2-2-2 compositions. If you are a DPS player right now, you don't have an answer to GOATS. And in the same way that I feel like maybe supports don't really have an answer to Tracer all the time, I think you also have to think about whether or not DPS have an answer to GOATS. So that's where I start to run into an issue. If there's a role that isn't able to counter a situation, I think Blizzard has to fix that.
Well, we see DPS answers to GOATS, and they're not be-all, end-all answers. We see the Doomfist, we see the Sombra come out, and they have impact. And teams that run that combination well enough have shown, success against GOATS comps. Now, obviously, how well that success is depends on the skill level of not only the Doomfist Sombra players, but, the GOATS team. But there is an acceptable answer for it. It's just not, rock, paper, scissors-esque, right? It's still depending on the skill level of the players, which I'm somewhat okay with. I think we definitely need a little bit harder of an answer to GOATS, but I, for one, can't really think of a way to implement one that would be balanced.
Well, one thing that I also think, by the way, kind of to go on the same vein as this whole balance issue, is just the fact that if the possibility of 3 healers is allowed, then their synergy together has to be considered, and that means that certain 2 healer compositions will inevitably be less balanced, because the problem is they could have a 3rd healer with them. So that means that combinations like Lucio Zen, I think, slowly get kind of phased out, because they just can't be viable as 2 healers, or else,
Yeah, they can.
Well, you can't buff Zen to the point where he's going to heal
whoa,
enough to support
I'm
it.
not saying...
You can't buff Lucio to the point where he can really support being 2 healers. That's why we don't really see that anymore. If there's going to be those 2 together, they have to have Brig with them.
No, but that's why I like the support changes we saw before, we started seeing variation of GOATS. It made sense that, it was always Moira, Lucio, Zen. They wanted to make Ana relevant. They added the healing to the Nano, all that stuff. They buffed the sound barrier. That's good, though, because these are good changes that still make them viable in their own right, but not OP when you stack them all, if you know what I mean.
Right, like, if you roll out with a 6 healer composition, it's not like you're gonna
nothing.
win.
You're gonna win.
Well, not right now.
You're nothing. No, we're probably not going to get to a place where that's a legitimate concern.
Because the problem is you're never, as long as they don't screw it up, assuming Blizzard doesn't screw it up, which is a bold statement in and of itself.
Yep.
But unless they add a healer that can do good, like, not just like respectable, decent damage, like a good Zen player or a Brigitte with enough time, right? But a DPS level damage or Reinhardt tank level damage,
That's a
you're
problem.
not gonna see 6 healers because there's no way for you to win the game.
Yeah, but then here's the problem with that. Some people want agency for when they play as a support, but that's not going to happen.
Right, but the agency, that's why I think the support changes they have been doing, like you said, are good, because it gives you agency in the form of saving your teammates.
Kind
right?
of, but
it
then...
doesn't give you agency in the form of single-handedly carrying and winning the game, like you can on a DPS. But the support role is never designed to do that, right? It's support. You're helping, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, though, when you go into that solo queue, and again, I know that not
Wait,
everything is solo
Ajax
queue.
Knight, Ajax Knight.
You
That's
have
why-
to have some kind of control. And if your
Wait,
team, if you're relying on your other teammates in order to protect you, then why would you play? Why would you ever play a support if you could just play Tracer and kill those supports that may or may not get support?
Because a lot of people find value in that. I mean, that's we're going down to like personal opinion rabbit hole, right?
I
Like,
don't think so.
Even if
I mean,
even if I have a
there are a lot
garbage
of-
team,
there are a lot
I
of
still get on Ana sometimes, and I still have fun.
let's look
Yeah,
at the
right?
top 500, though. Again, we got to talk about performance. Yes, you can have fun playing any hero. You could have fun playing. You could have fun playing anything. You could have fun playing Torb on offense, old Torb on offense, and a lot of good that did, or old Symmetra on offense before they've made the changes to her. Having fun at other people's expenses is a bad thing, but also fun isn't really what you measure balance against here. And again, if I'm thinking about the top 500 players, right? How many of them are actually supports? And how many of them are supports that are queuing solo? I
let's
would
not talk
guess
about-
not that many.
Okay, wait, but this is what I wanted to say earlier, because the issue, okay, we can't talk about this from a pro perspective, because like if you ask me, like higher tier Overwatch isn't like in a bad place in terms of game balance, they're fine. So I think we should really like mostly talk about the solo queue aspect, but we're already moving into that, which is great. My issue with that is that how do you add agency without adding too much strength?
Of course, yes, that's a good question, and I think the answer is characters, unfortunately, like Ana and Brigitte, and even to
Throw
some
in Ana.
extent Zen, because Ana without Tracer is a very high agency character without flankers, but I don't think flankers need to be removed because that gives DPS agency against Ana. So that's a good dichotomy there. But then what do supports pick against Tracer? What do they pick against Bastion even? And I know sometimes, especially in diamond level games where I'm playing, a support, right? And I'm playing diamond because, I'm playing with my friends. I want to play these other accounts.
HX9 confirm boosted.
Yeah, confirm boosting my friends, right?
That's what I meant.
They can't even possibly be boosted out of diamond. But anyway, it's beside the point.
Oof.
Oh, sorry, I'm actually insulting one of our other casters there by saying that. I apologize to one of my other casters. But
Got him.
my point is that that there are already heroes that are there for support that have good power level against certain compositions that have the ability to change the game, but there aren't enough of them because the game was initially designed around this 4 roles business, which is offense, defense being these quote-unquote roles. So, I don't know. I think that Blizzard has so much catching up to do on giving more heroes, which is really the answer that we want, right? At the end of the day, you have to have another option that means that Brigitte doesn't have to be as powerful as she is.
Yeah.
I'd
Okay.
I'd like to circle back for a second here, though,
Do it,
because you
do
were
it.
talking about top 500 players, and you were talking in terms of percentage, but I think that's kind of a biased way to look at it because it's not like good support play. And I'm gonna bring up an example here that I heard today actually on the European Overwatch cast, because recently one of the European contenders players, a Lucio player, hit rank 1. So how can you hit rank 1 if you have no agency? How can you impact enough of your games as a player
Solo queue?
to get
Mechanical
that
skill.
high up, right?
100%
Even
solo
then-
queue?
Even then, you're a
Mechanical
Lucio.
skill.
And
right?
at the same
Mechanical skill.
time,
So what are you
At the
just
same
attack
time-
Lucio murdering everyone?
at
Yes.
the same time, he might be just that much better than everyone. It's the same with South
Yeah.
Korea right now. Is that there's
Yeah.
that much better than everyone that they could win with any composition. There is
No, they're not
Okay,
that
that's-
much better
that's a
anymore.
little bit of an exaggeration.
In 2016, yes, they ran a no healer Torb symmetric comp and absolutely demolished that poor team, whoever they were. I don't even remember. But to say that they can run any comp now is
Lost
false.
them so hard. they wiped them
that's
from your
because
memory.
Yeah, honestly.
And that's because the minimum skill to entry to the higher level play is now higher. But my point is that yes, even in solo queue, there's also the factor of grinding as well. How long does it take you to get 1,000 points in Overwatch? Let's say you're at Diamond 3K and you are a GM player. How many wins do you need to get to that rating? Now, assuming the K value, if you don't know ELO, don't worry about that. Assuming you can win a maximum of 25 points per game, 1,000 points, right? Oh, hold on. We almost swapped C's
Yeah, it
there
takes
because
takes you like
yeah.
40
Okay.
games at least,
That's
and
1,000
that's assuming you don't
yeah.
lose.
That's 40 games, assuming you lose nothing. Assuming you lose nothing. Now,
Well,
if you
isn't
lose,
there also a winning streak bonus?
there
No, not
is
anymore.
there is, but it's absurdly
It's
high.
minor, though.
It's absurdly high. You have to win like 11 games in a row now to get it, or something.
Wow.
If you were playing 40, you just
It used to be 5. It used to be 5, and then you'd start getting a boost, but it got raised up to like 10 or something. Then believe that's not coming from Blizzard though. Keep in mind these numbers are coming from the players and their observations here. So yes, and also this isn't counting Smurfs. Remember, Smurfs have a much more variable amount of points. As soon as you get solidified, like your account that's like 1,000 games into competitive is not going to move very quickly. You got to get those 11 wins.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
Getting rank 1 is not only a factor of skill, but it's also a factor of time.
True.
So I wouldn't use one player as the example. I think using many players is a good example.
Well, okay, but there are a number of support players who reach like top 10 on Korean ladder.
And how many are solo queuing? One.
A lot of them.
I know Jajonak.
yeah.
Jonak did.
Jajonak.
BJ done it.
He's got the two J's. Jajonak. No, it's a Korean thing. But Jonak has plays with a trio. For a lot of
Not
his
when
games.
he first made it to top. What was it? I think he made rank 1 as Ana, but when he
Yeah.
got noticed by NYXL. But that was solo queue.
Yeah, so
Well,
it's,
and
it's
I'm-
possible if
Rejay
you're
on
that
top
far
two.
ahead
And
of
again,
people.
my argument.
No, but yeah,
isn't
I'm
that-
actually with you on that because you need to. Yeah, like people like who are really good at. You can actually be so mechanically good at support that you just like poo on everybody else. Like it's possible, but it is mechanics and getting kills. Like for example, during like I think it was Apex Season 3, Lunatic High. Oh God, that's not a name I've heard in a while. But yeah, Toby was 10% of his team's damage because he was inarguably the best Lucio player at the time. Like, don't at me, you're wrong. He was the best, and he would do 10% of his team's damage. You know the second place team? I think it was less than 5. The second place Lucio player.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like there is a lot of room to be like that much better than people, especially if we're talking solo queue.
Yes, and that's my point here is that if supports truly had the same agency, then there wouldn't be as big of a
I'm
discrepancy.
not saying the same agency. I just think.
No,
I'm saying
I
that
think-
saying
I
they
think
have
support-
no agency is incorrect.
That's
Yeah,
true.
fair enough.
Yeah, they have some. I mean, you can't just go in there and be AFK, right?
Yeah,
and that would be
Yeah.
You know, if you had no agency in the game, you should be able to basically take the bare minimum into a game and you just go 50-50, right? In general. Supports would just, support that got lucky and went 51% over a million games would eventually get to the highest rank possible, though. So it'd still be a factor of time in that case. But anyway, the point is that I think we still have, that's one of the most important statistics. And I would argue, here's my solution. You ready for this? Support
Oh no.
roll queue. Oh, I said it. I said it. I think
I don't know.
that
I think the only way roll queue would ever work is if it was soft. I don't care what you say. Or
I want it hard and I want it
If
long.
it's soft roll, the problem with soft roll queue is that it doesn't do anything.
Then
Right?
no, I know because I said this before when we were in chat once. The fact is, if the community can't take it onto themselves to actually report people, to help police their own community, then I don't care. Rank and burn. Have a sick one.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree.
Yeah,
Let
okay,
rank-
if you can't
let-
take care of yourself, have a sick one. That's why I think roll queue should be soft, because I love the variability in comps you get in Overwatch. We should still be allowed to do that. But if somebody is obviously throwing, they pick support so they can queue for 1 minute and they play DPS, the rest of your team report him. If you don't report him, you're part of the problem. I don't want to talk to you. I don't care.
But most trolls get reported anyways, right? If
Yeah,
you're
Blizzard
trolling-
also has to do harsher punishments. I do also put blame on the Blizzard for this.
I don't know. At the end of the
I
day,
do.
I don't
I'm
think
very
that people
confident in
I don't think people can police themselves. At the end of the day, if you can be
Then-
an
then-
asshole on
then
the internet,
sucks.
you will be an asshole on the internet. Not to
Then
mention,
I don't care.
a lot of
then-
these
then-
folks, even
Now we're
if they
getting
get
into some social contract theory.
exactly,
Yeah, right.
but that's the point. I think that at the end of the day, the internet has proven this to be the case. That there
Yeah.
hasn't really been a game that's come out where people have truly policed themselves. Even League of Legends. End of the
I was
day,
gonna say, look at what happened to Rainbow Six Siege.
I feel like if you're talking about what I think you are, it's a little bit different.
It's a little.
Oh, it's
a little bit.
extremely different. I love what the devs of Rainbow Six Siege did there. I just think it's crazy that they had to do that, right? That
Wait,
the
what did they
community
do?
got
I think
so
it's
bad.
Explain to our viewers though what that is though, because they might not
Also
know.
to beat down.
They implemented an automatic hard ban for saying specific words that were deemed unacceptable, right?
Good. I like
In the
it.
chat, and I approve of that.
Where's the
I love
list
that.
for
I just
the
think
player?
it's-
Where's the
What?
list? Where's the list?
The
Like,
list?
where do they see that list of words they can't say?
I don't know. It's not like, you know, it's not like you're gonna go on there and say damn and get hard banned for 30, like for an hour.
It's
or
probably
something,
like
right?
racial stuff. I hope
It
we
is. It's racial
Yeah.
stuff. It's sexist stuff, and I think that's good.
I'm cool with
But
it.
that's the very extreme end that they put a very extreme like thing on, right?
As long as it
So
doesn't
something
go
is
the
simple.
Evercrest route, where if you say cockatrice,
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
problem.
cockatrice, which is a mythical beast that petrifies people, right? You say that, the cock part of it, ban, you're done.
Well, there actually were a lot of memes at the beginning about saying specific, about getting the enemy team players to say specific words backwards, and then bad words would be inside those words, and they would get hard banned for it. I think
Yeah.
that got fixed. I hope it did.
As long
I
as they
don't
watch
know.
out for stuff like that, that's fine. 'Cause-
Yeah.
But
yeah,
then players
I'm just
just
waiting-
make
But
it their own.
again, that's
I'm
a
just
very
waiting.
extreme example, right?
No,
And they
I
dealt
like
with it
it.
in extreme fashion. But switching, you can't put in that kind of that level of punishment for something as simple as playing a different hero, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can.
Well, not without just hard locking it. No, I just don't think. Aside from the fact that the in-game UI, and that's what I was trying to reference with Rainbow Six, if that list of words isn't visible somewhere, and they aren't obvious words,
I'm
like
sure
the
it is.
most common racial slurs, right? But if it's
Yeah, no,
something
it's
that
not-
you wouldn't know,
It's something good,
Then you're in trouble.
civilized
And
people
it's-
wouldn't say anyway.
it's the same thing
Yeah,
with a soft
exactly.
lock. You'd have to have it very clearly listed in the game.
Yeah,
that
what
these
counts
words,
as throwing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might even have to have like a training thing, and people might not want to do that, or they might not accept that. So that's
Yeah,
why I think
fair
you
enough.
gotta
Then
gotta
you
go
also
hard.
run into the problem if you have soft lock, right? There's nothing stopping a player from queuing up in a role they're not good in, right? So someone who got to Grandmaster playing only Mercy could suddenly queue up his damage.
Ah, here's
and
where my
they're
second
still-
part
they're
comes
still
in.
bad, though.
Second part
Unless
comes
you
in.
add specific SR ratings
Exactly.
for specific roles,
Exactly.
and that sounds god awful.
That is
Because
the
then that 40 games you had to play to get to GM, if you want to be a flex player, becomes like 200.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you queue flex, you are only queuing to get into one of those three roles. So yes, it would
So
take
you'd
forever.
have a
Or-
flex role in your style of role queue. You're recommending a flex
That
role.
sounds really
because-
difficult in that kind
Yep.
of queue.
Yeah, because then they just play whatever they want.
No. Flex roll
They're queued up as a flex.
roll gets put into one of those three roles. If you pick that, you get faster queues, but you will take longer to rank up. That's what I would do. Anyway, I think that is a little bit complicated. The flex makes it complicated. Why have
the
flex
problem.
roll though? Is what I would say. Why allow
Because
people to
it's
queue
good.
flex?
Because it's good to be flexible in this game.
And because
Is it
you know,
good to be
certain
flexible
Well,
within
no, wait,
role
before
with
we move
outside
on,
of roles
before we
though?
move on. Yes,
why not?
because look at high level Overwatch, right? We see DPS players flexing onto Zarya, flexing onto Brigitte, right? So if you implement a soft role queue, you just kill certain compositions.
Is
Right?
that yeah? And I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily.
I do. I think it's terrible.
I do. I think if we kill certain compositions, we're gonna go back to dive meta, where only 6 heroes were ever good, and whoever was best on those 6 heroes was the best.
Yeah,
And
that's a little
as
bit
much
of a
as I love,
slippery
I'm
slope
exaggerating a little bit. I'm exaggerating a little bit.
I mean, if you're talking about dive meta, the previous one, that's not that big of an exaggeration.
Yeah, I think having that hard roll queue is just too big of a step.
Yeah.
And I think having a soft roll queue doesn't accomplish anything.
Mm.
There are even some having the ranks split out does have one big benefit. That's the top 500 is now split up into 3. And now you can actually measure who the best supports are, who the best DPS are, who the best tanks are, without it just being that same DPS main that gets 5 slots in the top 500. I know that they reduced it a little bit by having the numbers, having your phone number have to be attached, but let's be honest, I actually know a couple people that bought burner phones to attach numbers to.
That's
that's
kind of
so
funny, actually.
easy.
I mean, it's about, you know how much those things cost? They're like $10.
Oh, that's like $10, yeah.
It's nothing. So you really wanted to, now it's reduced it. It's been pretty good. We have seen the max rank for top 500 go down. So if you go look back, you have the data there to support the
Oh
claim.
yeah.
So it's not, we don't have the data. The problem is, again, and here's my thing, right? If they go the route of giving all the different roles the same agency, you don't need a role queue. If supports can take care of themselves in solo queue, no problem. So I think that's the better solution. But if they can't, if the goal of Blizzard's balancing with this Brigida change especially is that supports won't be able to take care of a Bastion or won't be able to take care of a Tracer, then I think you have to enforce a different rating system. They can't be rated at the same level as DPS because they don't have the same ability to change the game.
What kind of support would you even put in the game to take care of a Bastion, though?
Yeah, I don't know. That was weird.
Like you can debate that Moira helps because of the high healing, but how do you take care of a Bastion as a healer? And theory crap, hardcore like.
Okay, here we go.
I like where it's going.
I got one. Those Super Smash Brothers. You know, Mr. Game & Watch in his bucket?
Sure.
An ability which damage into a bucket over time and then spits it out as heals over time with the next bit of time.
He can do that?
Well, Mr. Game & Watch can grab damage in his bucket, and then when he gets 3 hits into his bucket, he spits out oil, which essentially shoots it back. But yeah, have a healer that builds energy by absorb the healing, yeah, and then spit it out there. So if they have a Bastion, hold your healing bucket out. You'll either stop their damage, much like Genji Reflect, or...
Wait, so is that your only way to heal then, if you are that support?
You know, Brigida has 2 ways to heal. Lucio has 2 ways to heal. He has an ultimate and a regular way.
That's not healing, but okay.
Ana has 2 ways to heal. You can give people multiple ways to heal. I'm just saying that's an idea that could counter high damage bursts.
That's an interesting heal.
Then what is the point of Moira?
Nothing. Delete her. I hate Moira.
She's more consistent, and she'll have more throughput in general. This hero would just have more throughput if the enemy had big damage. If they don't have big damage, if there are characters like Doomfist, or if they're characters like because Doomfist doesn't have projectiles, can't absorb non-projectiles maybe.
Oh,
there you go. Or can't
absorb
Reinhardt hammer.
But because of how powerful Rein and Doomfist are currently, what would that even do?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm just saying we were talking about countering Bastion.
Also,
right?
let's be fair here. Bastion's not that big of an issue right now. So
also fair. Good point.
But you know what is a big deal, at least not an issue, but a big deal.
Bringing us back.
We got the second team in here finally. They finished up their match. Team Piteous going 2-1 over the Saigon Tires in the quarterfinals of AG Weekly 130. That is right. This you haven't tuned in to a weird podcast where four nobodies talk about theory crafting and Overwatch. You have tuned in to the AG
on the
Weekly.
sidelines from the most of that.
Swan was there. He counts. So we are going to be jumping into this match between Zui Mama and Team Piteous shortly.
Forever the anchor caster. Possible.
You know what? If that's what I gotta do, that's what I gotta do. I'm not the hero you deserve, but I'm the hero you need right now.
Oh god, that's the worst line of any movie ever. God damn it, Christopher Nolan.
I'm sorry. The worst line of any movie ever is the whole Martha bullshit from Batman vs Superman.
That's not even a line.
Going into movies now.
Nope. Swan, we're bringing it back.
Favorite movie that reminds you of Overwatch, Swan, go.
Well, you gotta go with Ready Player One. It has Tracer in it.
It has Tracer in it.
Like,
that's all I'm
you
gonna say.
can't go with another option.
Yeah, you
my
can,
turn
because
to
another game could remind you about Overwatch. Like, what am I thinking? Friday the 13th, because, it's pure suffering.
Oh wow, that got
the
darkest cast.
I thought you were gonna go with the Jason joke or something. Wait, is Friday the 13th Freddy?
No,
That's
that's
fine.
Jason. It's Jason.
Oh, it is Jason. I thought you were
Nightmare on
gonna
Elm
go
Street
with
is
Jason
Freddy.
like Slasher 76, but
No,
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 you went. You just pulled out the gun and pulled the trigger.
no.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm ruthless.
Yeah, I noticed.
Good. I'm glad we're getting used to each other.
Yeah, well, you'd think so, right? After after a few months.
Yeah, oh my
You'd
god,
think
it's been
that,
a few months. You'd hope. I would hope. I'm just gonna assume. You know what else I'm gonna assume? I'm gonna assume we're going to Kings Row. So we go
I
to
didn't
Kings
have to do
Row.
it this
Well,
time.
Yeah.
pick
I don't know, they
bands
haven't
yet,
done the pick
but,
bands
Oh,
yet.
right there.
We'll
Pick
see.
bands. We're already at the
Semi.
semifinals, guys. It's
And
gonna be the shortest
Ooh.
AG Weekly.
the
date.
short, apparently the darkest with the way you're.
Oh,
taking
it
us down.
wasn't that dark.
All right, well, I got the lobby here. We will talk about these drafts in just a second. I'm gonna get it on screen in just a moment. But reminder that the AG these teams are going to actually get rid of all the maps that they don't want and end up picking 3 maps in the end that they do want. So we will get that on screen as soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
Wait for it, and yeah, as soon as possible. Haha, there we go.
Haha.
And right now they're just getting into the thing there. So we'll have to see when that happens in just
I
a
hope we go
moment
to
here.
Kings Row.
We don't see much Kings Row in the AG Weekly, do we?
No, it always
Yeah.
gets banned because I feel like you just know what people are gonna run.
Goats.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's like 8 out of 10 maps. So I don't know. Let's just delete every map where Goats is OP. You have what do you have left?
So
You have
what?
Nepal. You have Lijiang Tower.
No, Nepal's Goats is still good for 2 of those stages.
No, I said OP. It's not, or like you can get away with that.
That's debatable.
At least it's up for debate. That's kind of my.
Well, the problem
criteria
is with Monkey Goats. Now Goats is good on every map.
no,
because
that's not
high ground isn't an
Goats.
issue.
That's not Goats.
Yes, it is. It's
No,
one of
it's
the types of Goats.
Goats.
Goats is
no,
just Goats is just the.
no,
it's
it's
become
not.
the-
Goats.
It is go
Moira.
all tanks and supports. It is not
No.
the. We're not talking the original Moira Goats. Goats is Goats.
Listen, I understand. The comp evolved. It's easier to keep track of it if we still call it Goats. But I draw the line at calling the dive version of it still Goats. I don't remember where, but Dream had an idea for the name. It was a lot better, and it was actually like good. And I feel like we should distinguish the two
Well,
because if
good
we just
doesn't
keep doing
mean
a million,
popularized.
doesn't matter. I don't think he tweeted it. So either way, I'll think of a better name because it's gonna get confusing at some point.
It's already confusing.
Not really. Ana Goats, Moira Goats, Zen Goats, done.
But then.
Hey,
Then
there's some other
No,
variations.
no,
to it.
because already, like, you're pretending that the like moats or dotes,
I
monkey
am.
goats or dive goats haven't already been popularized in
I am.
nomenclature. But
That is what I'm doing.
All right, well, we got our
uh,
first bans here, folks. We do see Dorado on one side and Watchpoint Gibraltar on the other. So already a
There's
couple
definitely-
escort maps going down. And
Yeah.
then Eichenwald. I think these teams might be a little more sophisticated in their pick bans. Banning 2CP is a wasted ban if the other team's going to do it for you. So I approve of these bans right now.
yeah, these are also right now bans maps with a lot of high ground going away. So
oh god, Eichenwald was
more
one of the
Goats.
maps I
okay,
was
okay,
gonna list.
Rialto's gone now. So that's a very goats heavy map. So
Yeah, I'm fine with
we
that.
might still be in for an interesting series. Numbani going away as well.
It's weird. I don't like Numbani. I don't know why.
I like First Point Numbani.
That's like the
That's
one I hate the
interesting.
most.
I don't like First Point Numbani.
Yeah, me neither. That's like the one I hate the most.
Well, see, watching contenders the last few days, I feel like every other point Numbani is just goats.
Yeah, that's
First
true.
point Numbani still has its like own localized meta and is still kind of fun to watch.
Oh,
But
Yeah, no, you're right.
Every
Sometimes
other
they throw
point on
souls in
Numbani.
there.
We did
Anyways,
get our
still seeing
first
maps.
ban here, control map, Busan. So that's our first non-escort
dang,
hybrid
I like
map.
Busan. It's
It's
too
fun.
bad.
That's unfortunate.
No lie.
I think Busan's a very interesting map. There's our
There
first
goes
2CP
Kings
ban.
Row. God damn it.
And then there goes
Temple
King's
of
Row
Anubis.
But Zooey Mama, look at that. They're just going for the escort hybrid map. So I don't
They
think they're-
want to play control. They want to get down and dirty in these team fights. They
Yeah,
want to
for
create
sure.
chaos. We've seen Solstice
Ban
on
Blizzard
that
World. Somebody banned Blizzard World.
Doomfist. So
Blizzard
Blizzard
World.
No,
World.
don't ban Blizzard World just so that Beat has to deal with it. Just so he has to
No.
cast it.
No,
I would love
I don't
I
want.
personally would love that.
Come on. Yes, Zui
Ah,
Mama.
listen.
My
Yeah.
boys. Thank you.
I'm rooting for.
We got
Piteous
another
now.
2CP ban coming out from Piteous.
No, why did you ban Root? Like, why is it always control? Like, I'm not getting tired.
We are
of it.
going to have 3 control.
Oh
As soon
my
as somebody
God.
bans Volskaya.
Oh man, I hope we have 3 control maps. Come on, ban Volskaya. You know you want your Piteous. You ban all the
they're
other.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
I'm taking this as my registration.
Oh,
Resignation.
my
That's
God.
the word.
oh,
So how do you
man.
guys feel about
Oh.
Lijiang Tower?
I think
Goats,
I'm gonna have a
goats,
talk
goats.
with
Goats,
whoever's
goats.
running the AG Weekly and implement map types.
All right, so it'll be Lijiang, Ilios, and then if we make it to it, Nepal.
No.
Oh man, you guys ready? You guys excited?
Oh my god, I think my internet's going out.
Yeah, I get in the same bug too.
Just dark.
Yeah, honestly, I'm starting to turn to dust, boys.
Well, at the very least. No, I got nothing.
Wow. Damn, man, I was really
At the
like,
very
I was really
least,
reaching out to
we
you.
might get to Nepal, where we might see something that isn't goats.
Yeah, like why couldn't Nepal be first? I would actually be like fine with all of this.
Why couldn't Nepal be?
Oh, man.
Honestly, what I would very much like is for the finals of the AG Weekly to be picked by us. What maps they play.
Whoa,
Okay,
hey,
so-
that's a great idea. I love that. Can we start doing that?
Busan,
Yeah,
Blizzard Worlds,
Hanamura,
Yeah, I was gonna say
Hanamura.
Hanamura.
perfect.
the best
Perfect.
trio of maps.
I'll do it. I can do that.
Yike and a half.
But we can't do the same maps every week because then that would just be mean. And also, they would get used to it, which is a bad idea.
And then 1 week we just do all 2CP maps.
Well, what
and
I
they
would-
hate us, and we never get invited back.
Might as well actually
Nah,
look
we run the
around
show
here.
now. They can't get rid of us.
Oh no, he says
Oh,
that, but then
It's getting a little
Yeah,
big for his
too much
britches
power.
there.
You're right. I just wanted
We
to
gave
say
him
that.
too much power.
That's
all right, well, we are going to jump into Lijiang Tower here to start, and we're going to have Swan and Beatdown taking it away this time here for you folks. It is starting on the Control Center, which is, of course, as these casters love to talk about, the top GOATS map in history. But will we see the Chaser comp, May and Reaper? Tell us about that, the variations of GOATS that we might see here.
Okay, that is not a variation of goats. HX9, please stop.
It has Ryan Zarya, it's GOATS. Haha.
I will find out where you live and just no. Okay, anyway.
I love how the two casters who despise goats more than anyone is casting this goat fest right now.
I don't really despise ghosts, honestly. I was fine with it. I was fine with it when I saw Zen Goats because I liked it.
Speaking of Zen goats, we're gonna be seeing Zui Mama actually be running Zen goats.
You call it that, but there's no diva. Trace is gonna play the Roadhog instead. There's a lot of potential there if you can isolate the supports, especially Red Yuki on this Lucio. One good hook and even just a little bit of focus fire, he's just gonna blow away.
Yeah, we're gonna see him actually start the fight right here, getting a hook, but nothing much coming out of that. It's just a back and forth right now of color. We're gonna see Solstice taking out Ratlux and no main tank for the side of Piteous. What?
Huh? Hello? Helux, hello? Earth Shatter in like 25-30 seconds?
The point barely opened. He got
The
shattered
point
before
wasn't
the point.
open!
He got shattered before the point opened. Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh, Trey's taking a seat, just taking a load off, relaxing while Halux is doing all of the work here. Fat Shatter, oh, and a big pin is going off here.
He's already almost to another shatter. Just a few more swings into the enemy team. We're gonna see the Colons come in alongside the rally. Halux isn't gonna get the shatter fast enough, but actually we're gonna see Ratlux get his shatter. Sure, Trez falls and the Transcendence isn't gonna save him. I main LMB falls right after, so a little bit of wasted trans. We're gonna see the point flip to the side of Piteous.
Probably thought that, Fuchsia rather, probably thought that he could save his team, who were shattered, but by the time he got up, by the time he pressed Q, there was no way he could have really done anything about it. And Halux, by the way, with the shatter is gonna get a big one, although they lose Solstice. Zui Mama looking like they're stabilizing here. Both sound barriers are gonna come out now, and the kills are rolling in here for Zui Mama too.
Yeah, we're gonna see the Graviton come in, and actually the bomb combo. I don't know if it's gonna get anything. It gets blocked by all the shields, but despite that, we're gonna see Dulos and West fall, allowing for Zui Mama to go in on this 4v6.
Oh boy, we get Whole Hog is coming out here from Trace, and it looks like this is gonna be the recontest here for Zui Mama. Good clapback, I want to say. Look at that. Not much time lost here. They're about to pass Team Piteous in percentage yet again. And I think West, speaking of getting too big for his bridges, West got really aggressive there, almost into the back of Zui Mama too, and got immediately focused down as a result. Needed to get that damage in, but it isn't going to work out. But what is going to work out is the grab from Solstice.
We're gonna see Ratlock, he uses Shatter, so they're not gonna have it for the ensuing fight afterwards. And Hallex, he has his Shatter. Alongside, we have the Transcendence from Fuchsia, which could counter West's upcoming Graviton if he can get it fast enough.
Yeah, and at least, honestly, getting that Shatter out of the way is really good for this hold here. Now, they have some key ultimates that are usually good for holding this doorway here. Good immediate rotation from Team Piteous. They know they're going to get stuck. But the Shatter comes out!
We're gonna value, like, he's taking some lessons from the top AWL players. He's able to get the sound barrier, not getting shattered himself. But it looks like it won't even matter. As soon as the barrier runs out, Ratluck, Dulos, and Yuki fall. So they're gonna be forced back into the spawn as it gets to the one fight territory.
And looks like Big Kitten just barely makes it back to spawn. But now 10 seconds left. Nobody from Team Piteous, in a position to get to the point here. It's not looking good. Hallex has another Shatter. Guys, this is Shatter number 4 in this one round. Somebody needs to stop this guy.
We're gonna see Ratlock, he goes after his own Shatter, trying to push through. Fuchsia, he takes out 2. The Graviton comes in, but not much comes from it as Tress is just forcing back the enemy team. With his whole hop, we're gonna see the Demon Bomb come in, not really get much, but he's gonna get his Met back. Trying to contest us for a little bit longer. He gets Demec right after. He's solo grabbed. And it looks like the end for Piteous.
Seems like so far Zui Mama really making this comp work here. Trace being able to get super aggressive on this Roadhog and, for the most part being able to take care of himself definitely seems to be taking a lot of pressure off of Hallex on this Reinhardt. And let's be honest, it shows. 4 shatters in one round. And this is a 99-99. Like, this wasn't that long of a round.
Yeah, I've actually just that early shatter really shocked me, and it set the precedence what we're gonna see. Really aggressive, in your face type fighting style for the side of Zui Mama, and they've shown in that last game they had too. They're just rolled over. I forgot the team name already. Tempros Pink, yeah. Either way, we're gonna see them not running a really aggressive comp here. They're gonna be going with the monkey goats, as Possible said.
No, it's not. Don't encourage him. Okay, it's just the 3-3. I'll think of a better name for it, but for now, let's call it. Let's call it. Goats. No, I don't want to call it dotes. Let's call it heavy dive. I like it. We're gonna do that. Heavy dive here. But West, actually no. Team Piteous in general going in on this Doombra. Really good way to get through these beefy tanks.
It's actually separating a good chunk of the members of Piteous. Like, we see Zukrux getting booped off, actually, and Ratluck getting taken out, trying to join up with his team. It looks like it's going to be an easy fight for Zui Mama.
Oh, West trying to make some last-second value here. Unfortunately, is going to be invade. Use a key ultimate. That could have been really big in this next fight, but instead, it's gone. Luckily, Duelist 17, wow, already has the EMP. This could be a quick recontest if it is big enough and if the follow-up is there. But luckily, for the side of Zui Mama, they're armoring themselves up, so they still have a chance even if their abilities are gone.
We're going to see the Diva Bomb being thrown in, but oh! Solstice! He's going to get 2 with that, ending any type of push that Piteous was going to do, and it's going to be more time chunked off the clock.
I'm starting to think that Zrux olds Golden Eric money, because that's twice in a row that he got booped off in the mech. That is a serious statement right now. Wes, a little too deep, buddy. I don't know what you're doing there.
Yeah, unfortunate for Ratluck going in, getting slammed straight into the ground. That looks like it's going to be a one fight for Zui Mama. Has no main tank, no push.
That's right, and Wes also coming back here from the spawn. Team Phineas in general still haven't used this EMP. So we see Fuchsia kind of in the backline there. It looks like he's trying to just stay back and not get caught in this EMP. Really good positioning from him.
They're gonna have the sound barrier come out and the EMP right after, but Golden Eric, he was able to hide and get the sound barrier on the rest of the team after they get EMP'd. We're gonna see Yuki fall and West right after, so looks like it could be another easy fight for Zui Mama. We're gonna see the bomb come in, not really do much, and take it out before he can remake actually.
Big plays here from Solstice. That's what you want to be doing. Shutting down any chance Team Phineas have at contesting here. Halix, this man is unstoppable on the main tank. Please, let Team Phineas play the game.
See you later.
Unfortunate for Piteous, they have no ultimates except for West. They wasted them all in that last push. It was the last ditch effort. Now they need to hurry and get on this point as it gets to 96%. It's going to be going into overtime soon. West in the backline. Oh, the main wall blocks any damage.
Well played, although a sneaky flip from Team Piteous right now. It looks like with no ult in the bank, it really doesn't matter. Solstice has this bomb. The armor is coming out. Zui Mama are looking good into this fight, especially with that kill on the big kittens. That is so much healing gone for Piteous.
Unfortunate for Piteous. Only one left is the Lucio. He gets taken out. West trying to come in, trying to contest a little bit longer, but it's not going to be enough. They're going to flip the point and see the overtime wick fall down. You can see Sombra coming in. He gets taken out instantly. It's just stall tactics at the moment for Piteous.
Yeah, we're going to probably see this fight go on a little bit longer, but honestly, there's really not much that can be done. Zui Mama is just on point right now. This Blizzard is going to be the nail in the coffin. How do you respond if you see Piteous?
Not really much you can do. Just stall. It's not going to be enough, though, as Zui Mama wins the first map, the first control map. I forgot there's 3.
I mean, they're pretty much one and the same for this game. But speaking of this game, and oh my god, Halix, I can't wait to see this play. But to hear about that and more, HX9 Pulsable, come on and say hi.
Hi. So I have to
Hey.
say, there's something very impressive right now about the Piteous team, because quite frankly, their grouping is not all that bad. They really did well at trying to take the upper route on Lijiang Tower Control Center, and they did a great job of regrouping, recontesting the point. The only thing they don't have going for them is their mechanics are kind of weak here. So their Doomfist West, he's doing a good job getting a couple picks. Their tanks not really doing a good job connecting and getting that damage in right now. I think the supports are doing an okay job of keeping people up. So honestly, I think if Piteous just maybe went into the practice range a little bit more, they'd be a force to be reckoned with here.
Real force to be reckoned with, though. We got to talk about Halix. That Earth Shatter, that first one, you saw it in the play of the game. Came out 23 seconds after the round started, but only 11 seconds after the first fight started. So working up to that ultimate in under a quarter of a minute, right? Where was Halix? Halix, my guy. Where was this yesterday when you were playing for ASU, bud? I got some questions for you, man. But you're doing good today, so I guess that's what matters.
Well, obviously, that was a warm-up game, right? Now he's all set and ready to go for the AG Weekly here. But
Perfect.
they're going to go on to Ilios next, and I think this would be a great opportunity for some Pharah play for both sides here. And I'm wondering if Team Piteous is going to bring the better Pharah or not. We'll have to see, though. But they're starting on Ruin, so it might also be the Widow game. Let's send it off to our casters to talk a little bit more about that.
I would love to see the Widow. I'm going to be honest. Widowmaker's great. Unless you're playing against a good Widowmaker in ranked. That's not great.
Just get your own Widowmaker.
Yeah,
This is a bad one.
just be good.
Just
just
pop
be
in
good
Widow.
at Widow forehead. Dude, oh my god. In a ranked game last night, we had a Widowmaker Smurf. Absolutely demolished the other team. The other 5 of us did nothing. We actually started pleading with them in chat, like, bro, let them play, please. It was really bad. Like, that's one thing that worries me about, like, people, characters like Widow and Tracer at one point in time. Like, yeah, it's good that it's skill-based, but at what point is it just, like, what's the
Just a
word?
carry.
Not even, yeah, that's a true carry. Speaking of carry, Zui Mama and Team Piteous both picking their carry DPS here on the Widowmaker. I'm really excited to see this duo. Our duel, sorry.
Duel. It's not a high noon duel, but whatever. We're
That'd
gonna be
cool.
seeing. Yeah, that would be cool actually. But we're gonna be seeing dive come in for the tanks for both sides. The main
Oh!
LMB gets a big headshot on the west. Ratluck falls right after. That's gonna be a clean fight for Zooey Mama. Just leave. Just go back to spawn.
I mean, playing Widowmaker, what else do you need other than left mouse button? This is iMain LMB's perfect opportunity to shine here, doing so much work. And yeah, so far a good fight. We're gonna see Team Piteous go for the swap to the Goats composition here. They've had enough. It's good that they're swapping early. At least they're gonna give themselves a chance to build some ultimates and catch up in this fight.
Yeah, we're gonna see Trez trying to get a lot of ult charge on them, dashing through them, allowing for the tanks to come in and start harassing the backline. We're gonna see Golden Era getting the finishing blow on the big kittens, and Music Man getting Demek right after. And it looks like that was a pretty well executed dive for the side of Zooey Mama.
And yeah, they're playing this stuff really well. As soon as Team Piteous get into their area, within their range, they just immediately pounce on them, rip them apart. Zooey Mama needs to... No, sorry, Team Piteous needs to be, ready for that. They need to know as soon as they see Zooey Mama, they need to pick a target and focus them down. Because technically, they should be out-sustaining them. But if they're too slow to react, they're going to get ripped apart.
Well, it seems like it'd be a little bit of a weakness for Ghost. They need to have that speed go in, but they need the speed to get him away from the Dragon Blade from Chess. He's gonna go in, not really get much, but he get a good chunk of damage. He gets taken out towards the end of it, making this a 5v6. Both sound barriers from both teams. Actually, a whole bunch of ultimates actually being popped from both sides. Solstice is the only one to get kills from it though. D-Mecking Music Man and Term, and not really much coming in afterwards.
Good focus from the tanks here from Zooey Mama. On top of that bomb kill, getting a lot of value there. It seems like they're actually going to be turning this fight around with kill after kill. And oh my god, Zooey Mama's actually doing it.
They're becoming mighty. They're actually becoming the Goats killer.
Yeah, for now it seems like they are doing well against this Goats composition. Self-destruct is going to come out here, but before Music Man could mech, he goes down and the bomb finds nothing. 2 seconds left and it looks like that might be the round.
Pretty clean round for the side of Zooey Mama. They knew how to separate the Goats. They knew the strong points of the Goats comp, I would say, and use that to their advantage to split them up, force them to get their focus off of a specific, like their main focus that they had at the beginning of fights. They just stray away from that, force them to not focus on that, and then focus on something else, allowing the tanks to go in and do some work.
Well, we'll see if this trend continues here. It's a bit early to say, but it looks like both. Yeah, see, I knew it. Zooey Mama, I trusted you. You betrayed me. But still, good comp here. They're running pretty much the same as before, but now, they're running the Far Mercy dive instead. So they want to take advantage of it as well. Probably all want to make their runs for Mayor of Boop City. Piteous are just going for the expected pulled poor composition here. They have the McCree because they're expecting the Pharah. They have the Pharah probably because they're expecting the Pharah. So there's a lot of value that could be found in their comp as well, as long as they play their slow and steady game and Music Man can get those hooks he needs.
What's really unfortunate for this comp too is that it's accessible to a lot of mobile damage coming in. We're gonna see Hallex going in killing Term, and support's dying right after, forcing Team Piteous' tanks to fall back. Not really much they could do, and that's gonna be a cap point for Zooey Mama. Almost a team kill, in fact.
Yeah, so far, no voice line from Athena, but a great start here if you're Zooey Mama. So now, it's going to be a little difficult to get them off of this point here, them being Piteous. So it looks like they're making some swaps here. They want to move a little bit faster than the Orisa can allow. So now, we got the Reinhog. Don't have a nickname for it yet, but besides that, nothing else has changed.
Yeah, they're gonna be going on the side, but their DPS gets taken out early in the Pharah battle, along with the ensuing Mercy. They're gonna have to fall back on this.
Hostiles eliminated.
Hallex playing the true main tank game, sacrificing your life for the victory of your team. I salute you, good sir.
That's the true sacrifice right there.
Right. Now, still a lot of ultimates about to come online from Zooey Mama. They're looking so good here, 50% and climbing. iMain LMB has the blade too, and Piteous don't really have anything. They have Term on this Widow now. Hopefully, he can get the kill on the Triss.
They're gonna throw out the Diva Bomb in order to force them to get out this little corner a little bit, and also we're gonna see I made LMB going in with the blade, getting both of the supports, getting turned right afterwards. It's just a mess right now for Piteous.
And West not able to win these far duels at all. Trace has been pretty dominating so far. So you have to wonder, yeah, they're gonna make this swap here. They realize it's not working. Now they have a double hit scan composition, but still, it's going to be hard. There's a lot of backline potential here. So unless, they can get some good shots on the Trey. Oh, right as I say it, Trey is just beating down his counters at 87% and counting. What can they do?
Not much they could do. They have 10 seconds to get on the point to at least start overtime. They could probably hope that and then maybe play the stagger game at that moment. We're going to see Ratluck actually demecking Solus and only Solus, but it don't even matter. That's the only kill they're gonna get in this fight.
I just want to take some real quick special attention. Hal Ux, before he gets shattered, immediately presses Q and puts himself in the Primal, preventing himself to die. Gets so much value too, so we're gonna see Zui Mama take this round, and the map, and the series.
Take everything.
They're just taking it all. They want it all.
Well, they're not gonna take our speaking time, so let's give Possible some speaking time too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just me. HX doesn't get to come back.
Yeah.
I'm back. You hear that? You hear that? Just stick to producing. No.
Crying on the
wow.
inside. Oh, I'm crying on the
Wow.
inside.
And this is when I get kicked from the call. No one ever sees me again.
That's weird. Possible seems to have gone disconnected here. Something about a tornado.
And there's suddenly
In Arizona?
Sharknado.
Oh, what the
That's
hell?
less likely.
He got taken over by a dust storm.
Now that I would believe.
Dust storms are scary, especially if you're in one.
I mean, I'm pretty sure any storm follows that logic.
Yeah, I mean that's
Oh,
fair.
that makes sense.
But I think Zui Mama were a real storm of a force here against Team Piteous. I did it again.
He did it again.
But yeah, no, Zui Mama are doing a really good job of winning when they honestly had no right to there. I feel like Team Piteous kind of the opposite of what we normally see, I would argue, when it comes to AG Weekly. A lot of the time when we see teams lose, it's because they had high level mechanical skill and just the wrong idea compositionally, right? Team Piteous, exact opposite. I think most of the time, other than that Reinhardt Roadhog, which I thought was kind of weird, but most of the time, they were on what I would consider the correct composition. And it just didn't matter. The mechanical skill of Zui Mama proving too much to deal with.
No, I 100% agree with you. It's at the end of the day, again, mechanics matter. Being the stronger player matters sometimes in a lot of cases. Strategy can only take you so far. And so, although I really got to give Team Piteous, they had good comps. I'm maybe not the Ryan Roadhog. I mean, that was a little weird, but they had some pretty good compositions. They had great regrouping, great pushing onto the point. I think they're playing above their current skill level in strategy, and they just need to bring the mechanics up. So just hit the practice room, get your sights in. Some people like Aim Hero, some people like Osu, some people just like going into the practice range in Overwatch. Whichever your method of doing it, go in and just work on some mechanics for a little bit. 30 minutes a day. You'll be there in no time.
He says before I practice mechanics for a year. And still be a diamond DPS player.
No, if you do any of those methods for a year, you're going to get better reaction time. You're going to do a lot better. But you do have to still play the game too. And so I know a lot of people really obsess over mechanics, but you don't want to do that. But anyway, we are going to be jumping into the finals relatively soon. The other match on the other side of the bracket now 1-1. It's a 1-1 between Vancouver Heights versus the new Epic Elite. So be sure to stay tuned. One of those two teams will be taking on Zui Mama in the finals. We'll see you soon. What's up, everyone? HX9 here. We're at the AG Weekly 130 Finals. It's Zui Mama number 2 versus the new Epic Elite. Oh, this is going to be a rematch of the century. We saw these teams play last week in this, I believe, was it the semifinals? Might have been the quarterfinals
yes.
even.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the semi.
Yes. Whenever it was, though, it was a very heartfelt match. A heart involved from both teams. Now they're going to be Zui Mama going to try to get their vengeance here tonight. Possible? Is vengeance possible?
I definitely think it is with how they've been playing earlier tonight. You know, it doesn't really seem like they've been challenged by the teams that have come up to them previously. So we'll see if they can keep that momentum going. We'll see if it is truly just how strong this team is now. Halix, I'm in LMB, been giving us a good showings. I'm always looking at Fuchsia on that flex support role. Brilliant flex support player. Solstice also been very good on that. Everyone on the squad's been doing pretty good tonight. They've all had their own specific standout plays. So if they can coordinate them and be on the same page, I think they got a real shot.
Yeah, I'm with it. I would have at the very least, like to watch map 3, and I would also really not want to do 3
You don't-
control maps.
You don't want to do 3 control. What about 3 2CP back to back?
I would
this
actually,
happen.
I would do that. I
Let's,
would do that.
Let's talk to them in chat.
Let's talk to the
Hey,
gentlemen.
guys.
Hey guys,
Let's
real
do
quick.
3 2C. No, I'm not doing that.
I'll do it.
No, I'm okay. Thanks though. But I do think there's also some talent for Zui Mama to be aware of on the other side. Zoros has always impressed us here, and so has Sylph. Sylph supposedly, don't know if this is accurate because it's just Liquipedia, and Liquipedia does not always have accurate information. But supposedly, it's the same Sylph that was on, I think, what was it?
Sure you watch Blue.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
became the New York XL. Now, that might be a little far-fetched. It might just be however they have it coded on Liquipedia and it ended up being screwy.
That's
But
possible.
I think I believe they play the same role and the same heroes. So it is feasible. If that were the case, I think that'd be neat.
That would be neat, but I just wonder, what are you doing here?
I don't know. Korean people move to America.
That's
a
true.
thing that happens.
Oh my god, just that'd be a funny story. Just moved to NA, still playing Overwatch, still out here grinding it out in tier 3. Love it.
Yeah, just chilling.
You love
My
to see it.
understanding is as a pro, at the very least, the Sylph from LW Blue did retire, but just because you retire from a game professionally doesn't mean that you can't play it, right? So
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, I guess it's like how people just retire and then they still have a job. But that's kind of more capitalist thing. I don't know if I should get into this.
also it's not, a video game. Nobody nobody goes to a cubicle job and then does it later for fun, right?
Oh, well,
At least I don't think they do.
let me tell you about my cubicle job.
I was about to say, let me tell you about HX9 over here.
Cubicle job can be fun if...
Really?
Yeah, it can. It actually can be something
Sounds
that...
fake, but okay.
Yeah, right.
I've mentioned this before, I'm in software development myself. Not in game software development, mind you. I'm in just the regular software development. I can't tell you much about what I'm doing because part of my contract is that I can't. But I can say this, that the challenges that you can be presented in certain jobs can be entertaining, and they can actually be something that makes it worthwhile to get up and go into your cubicle and try to solve the problem. So,
Well, you know what else is entertaining? This map ban draft pick we got going on here. They are getting it started. They're getting it rolling. So let's get that scene swapped over there. We already got some bans coming through. New Epic Elite, interesting tactic, banning out some 2CP maps first.
That's disappointing. I really wanted to see 3 CP maps back to back. 3 2CP maps back to back.
2CP maps.
oh yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what you wanted to see.
I actually do.
Hey,
Now,
I think you'd be happy as long as we don't go to Blizzard World.
Well, Lijiang Tower and Ilios are
Yeah.
out now, so we aren't going to be seeing... Well, we could still see triple
We could
control,
still
but
see
I don't think
triple
it's as
control.
likely now. Those are some good
Uh,
removals, though. I mean, again, we see those all the time, and if you really want to use this as a practicing session, in addition to being a tournament, it might be good to get rid of some of the maps that are the most popular right now.
Well,
I-
there we go. Oasis gone. We will not see 3 control maps again.
I'm
we
still gonna see King's Row on the plate though.
until someone gets rid of it because you jinxed it.
That's fair.
Oh,
Well,
with Jinx
it's,
Hanamura
1 in 4
instead.
chance.
The reverse
Jinx.
jinx.
1 in 4 chance.
Yeah, please.
Let's see
Nepal.
what New Epic Elite
Please,
go
Nepal.
with.
No!
Hey, King's
There
Row,
we go.
Swan
King's
jinxed
Row's
it.
gone.
So,
Yay.
well, Skya, Busan, and Nepal now it's just going to be about the map order. So, Zuimama will pick which map we go to last, which one we end up on. See what they decide here. Of course, Volskaya makes sense to me. They've been showing dominance on control all night long. They want to play those control maps, get them out of the way early, and just wrap this up in 2.
It's pretty interesting. Like if we go to third map, that's gonna be an interesting tiebreaker. It's a little bit ties.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, what if it ties? Yeah, well, this is why I really think like if we're gonna do map bans, fine, but I really feel like they should play every type.
Yeah, that's definitely something...
Can't play every type when there's only 3 maps, though.
There it is.
Okay, so then have 3, make it a best of 5. Why aren't the finals a best of 5?
Probably because there's an indeterminate amount of teams that can sign up. So if there's like 50 teams that sign up, they don't they don't want this going until 8 a.m.
But if you really, really think about it, it's only affecting the very last match.
Right. By that point, people are tired.
Yeah, but like at that point, like what is one extra map?
Well, you know, at the end of the
What's the
day,
difference?
yes, it's 1 extra map potentially. But if it's best of 3 and only 2 maps are played, it's 2 extra maps, or it's one extra map, or 2 or 3 extra maps. So there's a lot of variability there for sure. But there definitely could be some variety added to this. We'll have to talk. We'll have to see if we can change some of the rules up here. But we are going to start with Nepal.
Not our job.
Yeah, no. Well, it's sort of our job. We have some influence. We do see Nepal. It's going to be number 1. Busan will be map number 2. Volskaya Industries number 3. That does mean we're going to be seeing the other control maps that we didn't see before, though. So let's at least, be a little bit thankful that it's not going to be Lijiang Tower and Ilios again, huh?
Yeah, no, we get some nice variety here. We didn't see Nepal last series as well. It was the one control map we didn't get to go to, so we get to see it regardless of that. And Nepal, one of the more interesting control maps. It's not goats all 3 points. There are variable compositions viable on specific stages.
Traveling to Nepal.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I'm here for all of it. Especially the May Reaper that I hope we're gonna see here on Village.
Well,
Certainly
with
possible.
that, jump in. We got Pulsable, we got Beatdown. We're going to cast the finals
Hey,
here
that's
for you here. And, Village, yeah, May, Reaper, the Chaser comp, as some like to call it. The
Chase
Goats
down
comps. I like calling it Chaser because it's like Chaser. And then the Pharahs also, and we've seen some pretty quick Pharah buildings, ult building from both Zui Mama and New Epic Elite.
Definitely have. That won't be the case as we head into Village here, or it's at least not looking like the case at the moment.
But
Could
my
swap
boy
off to it.
Trace.
Could swap off to it. But Trace currently on that May. Not a Reaper to pair with it. It looks like it's gonna be the 3-2-1 from Zui Mama with the May. May, very good pick here on Village.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. We're gonna see the May Reaper. Such a good
Yep, there it is.
combination here. Because of all the close quarters demanded by this map, there's a lot of room for this Reaper to get some really good damage in here.
And room for some nice May walls too. Reaper, a good way to clean up these staggers you get out from those May walls. Zui Mama already rotating around. They've caught out Potato, but they're not able to finish him off. He does get around that May wall just barely. So Zui Mama have set themselves up on the point here, and now they've taken out Dodge Fighter. Sylph is the next one to fall, and with that, Zui Mama gonna get aggressive and get as many cleanup kills as they can.
Not a good start here. Running this Ghost comp for New Epic Elite. If you're gonna run into a comp like this, or you're gonna be running Goats into a comp like this, you need to be able to move quickly and powerfully. You can't give the Reaper any time to start whittling down your tanks, and that's what we saw here. Main is already halfway to this Death Blossom and is looking pretty good so far. Honey Badger wants to deal with him with this Pharah. No hit scan on Zui Mama, so it makes sense.
Yeah, gonna be difficult for Zui Mama to deal with Honey Badger, but Honey Badger's gotta get close up in their face. It's gonna be a little easier to do that now that Iman LMB is down. No Reaper means a lot of damage gone for Zui Mama as they try and hold on to this point. New Epic Elite just waiting, biding their time, and that might bite them. The Shatter comes out, but a counter Shatter back the other way finds 2, and now the follow-up coming in for New Epic Elite. It's stall time for Zui Mama, but with Fuchsia going down, that stall is not going to last very long, as New Epic Elite are going to cap the point.
Counter Shatter so strong. A lot more follow-up for the side of New Epic Elite, and that was pretty much the decider onto this fight here. No one from Zui Mama could get up in time and get the damage needed to finish off the stunned New Epic Elite. Now, they're looking okay. They have the grab, they have the beat going into this next fight. But still, Zui Mama are looking to flip this right back. They have a grab themselves coming up, and they have this Blizzard.
Ooh, the grab comes out from New Epic Elite first, however. The Blizzard is out, but there's not enough players alive for Zui Mama to take advantage of it. And with that, New Epic Elite going to clean that one up nice and easy.
Oh, Trace, I could almost feel that thought process. Gets thrown into the grabs. Should I use the Blizzard? Yeah, I'm going to use the Blizzard, but not the right decision. Now, they're down at ults. The rest of Zui Mama got taken down way before any value could be found. And now New Epic Elite still looking good. They have 4 ults, and they're past Zui Mama in terms of time now.
Oof, and Fuchsia going down too makes it hard for Zui Mama to try and stay in this. They have to use some ults to stay in this. They did take the point, so now any time ticking up is going to be Zui Mama's, and they found some picks as well. Trace the Maywall made it so Zui Mama could sustain despite the lack of healing, and now they're chasing New Epic Elite out.
That flip was something New Epic Elite should not have allowed. They had the advantage here, and they should have pushed it. You know, by stepping off the point, allowing them to cap, you kind of lose the opportunity to really hold onto the point, and it's so hard to flip it right back. But still, Trace, getting flipped. What? Zui Mama lose too.
Potato went back and spawn camped Fuchsia as he was coming out. No one was there to protect the Ana, and then the entirety of Zui Mama had to rotate back to try and deal with him. And once that happened, the rest of New Epic Elite already moved into the few remaining members of Zui on the point.
Very interesting individual, decision from Potato. Seemed to work really well here. Trace had enough of this Pharah. Is going to swap onto the McCree still. Potato has this Graviton Surge. 80% and counting. This might be pretty good for them. This might be their chance here, Pulsable.
Yeah, it's getting to that one fight territory. Ooh, and Golden Eric going down is going to be a heavy disadvantage for Zui Mama. They get caught in a grab. Nothing to protect them from the self-destruct. A desperation self-destruct going the other way. Yet again, they've managed to cap mid-fight. So they're not, done with this yet. But Hallex going down makes it so difficult for them to stay in here. They're not going to go for the stall, but they've only got 9 seconds left.
Well, still, stalling means they actually had the opportunity for the rest of Zui Mama to come back in here, but gets blown up. It actually looks like no one's going to make it back.
Yeah, beautiful barrage from Honey Badger denies that outright. Beautiful bit of positional and situational awareness there from Honey Badger on the far. It's what we've come to expect of this guy.
Honestly, it's such good play so far, good decision making, and a good part of what has put them over the top here in this first round. We got a few close calls here with them, giving the point up a little too early or unnecessarily, but they still manage to hold on to it when they really get a grip.
Yeah, Honey Badger showing an interesting range of hero pools as well. Not only can he play the Pharah, but he can play the Zen. Funnily enough, you don't normally see projectile DPS switch over to that, but it does make a degree of sense. Zen also a projectile healer, interestingly enough. We'll see if Honey Badger can make the same kind of impact as we head into Shrine. It is the 3-2-1 versus the 3-3. Ooh, and Hallex going down first, going to make it difficult for Zui Mama to try and get in here. They're going to opt to sort of play this safe, back up a little bit. They don't want to get staggered out, and they're really just going to sort of dance around the point. They find Sylph caught out a little bit, but they got to try and get on here. The cap comes through for New Epic Elite, but now Hallex is back in the mix, so this is temporarily in favor of Zui Mama if they can get in. Hallex already low again. Trades going both ways, but Zui Mama finding the better end of this deal. They've taken out two firing back the other way, so it's still even numbers relatively on the point, but as a grab comes out, Zui Mama gonna get caught, forced to use the sound barrier, but Fuchsia over on the side has found so much value on this Zen, going to make it so difficult for New Epic Elite to try and stay on this. It's just stalling now for them. They have control of the point, but not for long.
Pretty good way to build up some percentage there. New Epic Elite have 30% in the bank already. Not a bad way to start here. However, Zui Mama, 4 ults in the bank. Hallex getting close to the 5th, but look on the other side. New Epic Elite have a bunch themselves. There's going to be a big ult fight, but I think the teams are going to live or die by their Reinhardts. Can you block the Shatter? That's what's going to matter here.
Yeah, certainly going to be impactful. Self-destruct coming out, forces Zuimama back a little bit, but now a grab to re-engage. Counter Shatter comes out, not finding enough follow-through, but it stops the follow-through on Zuimama's grab. Still an even fight here on the point with nobody having falling in. Transcendence is going to keep that going for a little longer. There's the Shatter coming out from Halix to wipe this one up. Beautiful follow-through, finds one, finds a mech. They're all falling now for New Epic Elite, and Zuimama going to hold on to this one.
Dogfighter not really keeping an eye on the enemy. Reinhardt not keeping track of the ultimates that he had online. Looks like we're going to have a pause here. But we can still talk about what we were seeing. Dogfighter, you needed to keep that shield up, buddy. Need to keep track of the enemy Ryan's ultimate. He did not, and his team paid for it.
I think it might have been a shield bash combo coming out from iMain LMB. I didn't quite get to see that one. Certainly not uncommon, as we know. It's very a common combo coming out. We did have a bit of a disconnect from one of the players, but they're back now, so we're gonna head back into the game.
Yeah, I actually had a pretty good angle of it. I don't quite think it was a Brigitte stun. Dogfighter was just kind of swinging the hammer. He was just trying to build up some ult charge, which I mean makes sense. And as soon as the hammer came down, no attempt to block it. Unfortunately, must not have been expecting it at all. But Zuimama still holding this point, 60% and strong. Grab is going to come out possible.
Yeah, Graf comes out, but only a little bit of follow through, and they trade out their Brigitte for it. Golden Eric finding that kill yet again. Very bloodthirsty support here today. Now the Deadeye, just for a bit of zoning. Bubble to keep Trace nice and healthy. Ooh, the Shatter from Dogfighter actually whiffs entirely, and now he's going to get punished for it. Despite not having Halix in the fray, Zuimama going to get very aggressive here and force New Epic Elite back to the spawn.
I love that. As soon as they have the opportunity here, as soon as they know they can win this fight with insane speed, they just push into the back line of New Epic Elite and completely tear them apart. 5 seconds to go. You know, Zuimama still has the grab. They're looking really good here, especially with Trance already out.
Yeah, very early Trance too. The grab zones New Epic Elite off entirely. They can't even touch the point. Kind of similar to what New Epic did to them previously with the Pharah Barrage. So both these teams, we finally got a series on our hands, guys.
Yeah, one good deed deserves another, but now who's going to be kept off the point into this third round? It's really hard to say.
Yeah, and this is the weirdest round on Nepal as well, with that giant pit there. This isn't, generally speaking, a Goats v Goats map.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, now, you know, we could see a lot of comps here. We could see the dive. We could see the we could see the pulled pork composition here, which is what I think we're seeing from Zuimama. So actually, we're seeing it from both sides here, but Potato on New Epic Elite is playing the D.Va instead. Definitely a lot of value to be had here. You know, eating a lot of damage, getting to be able to eat the hulks too could be very valuable here.
Certainly could be, but you're not going to get those environmental kills as easily. So we'll see who can make better use of that off tank, but it's Zoro finding all of the use on this Widowmaker. Not concerned with Trace at all, just going straight for the tank line. And now with a 3v6 advantage, New Epic Elite going to cap this easily. Oof.
And Zoros dominating so far on this Widow duel. New Epic Elite doing really well to push their advantage on the Zuimama. Now, they're going to hold on to this point comfortably. Potato in the front line, just throwing some damage here and there. We're going to see some swaps already. We're actually going to almost the traditional dive comp here. You know, sans the Zenyatta. I was actually about to get some serious flashbacks here. But so now it's all going to be about taking care of the backline. But how do you do that when snipers rip up your main tank?
Yeah, fun fact that you can't take care of the backline if you're dead. Honey Badger doing a good job of zoning that out, but he's getting jumped on by so many players from Zuimama. Meanwhile, Zoros has found a DMAC on a Solstice, so no tanks readily available. Halix nearly back in the mix here, but needs to get back a little bit quicker. iMain LMB finds Slash, so this could be the value that they were looking for to try and get into this fight. Now Halix back in the fray, going to provide enough space for his DPS to pop off here. Zuimama gonna stake their claim on this point.
Still with 53%, New Epic Elite aren't in the worst place here. On top of already having the Dragon Strike, coming on to some pretty key ultimates as well, they might be in a position to retake here. But it's going to be about the ult game now, and it's going to be about how well Zuimama can take the engagement of New Epic Elite, how quickly they can just counter dive them. But it looks like they're in a position to try.
Well, and New Epic Elite haven't opted to swap off that main tank. They still want the Orisa to provide those sight lines for their snipers, and you can see why. Honey Badger already finding Trace over on the side with that arrow. Now Dragon Strike coming down onto the point to just try and zone them out. The Nano comes onto the Genji, but a little bit early, not quite able to find that Nano Blade combination. The Blade comes out now, but it might be too little too late here. Gets taken down, and with that, New Epic Elite going to recap here as soon as they clean up Solstice.
You see, Zuimama had a good idea to dive here, but their dive was a little disjointed. You know, I mean, LMB wasn't there. Trace was already taken out, so their dive lost a considerable amount of punching power. When that happens, you can't whittle down the Orisa. You can't whittle down the D.Va fast enough for, to deal with Zoros and Honey Badger on these snipers. They just rip your tanks apart, and then what do?
You'll have to try again as Zuimama come in. Sylph taking a lot of damage, but it's going to be Halix who falls first. Trace finds a nice pulse bomb onto Honey Badger, so it's a 5v5 here still on the point. Now, Zuimama kind of have New Epic Elite right where they want them. They've cornered them on this point here, and they have the better close range damage. Fuchsia going to get pulled off, but meanwhile, the rest of New Epic Elite falling one by one. It's just the tanks here now for New Epic Elite. It is going to tick up probably all the way to 99% here, but Zuimama going to cap this for the moment.
Yeah, New Epic Elite are still in a good position to keep this going here. They have the Valkyrie. Honey Badger has another Dragon Strike here, so this isn't outside of the realm of possibility. On top of that, Zuimama still has quite the hill to climb. And with walls coming up too, this is going to be difficult. They need to hold this point for another 45 seconds.
Yeah, they can't afford to lose a single other fight. And the wall's going to give them a bit of information, but Zoros has swapped over onto that Brigitte. Tired of this dive, wants to try and negate it, but I'm in LMB, not going to be negated today. Finds Honey Badger. Halix yet again going down first, but there's the blade coming out from I'm in LMB. Already finds Zoros, cleans up Dogfighter, and now Zuimama looking to hold strong here as they push New Epic Elite back.
That Dragon Blade was exactly what they needed. You know, Halix getting... Oh, Trace! Double kill onto the supports and Honey Badger. Icing on the cake here. This is really bad suddenly if you're New Epic Elite. 90% and counting, and a lot of your team are still coming back from spawn here. We're seeing Sylph swap to this Moira. You know, they need more sustained for this last fight. Honey Badger wants to open with the Dragon Strike, but can anybody get to the point on time?
It's only 1 second left, and one person does get there. It's Dogfighter who manages to get in, and now it's an all-out brawl here on the point. Dogfighter goes down, and it's a 5v5 here as I'm in LMB has to come back on that emergency Doomfist. Trade still going either direction as Golden Eric, and now Halix doesn't go down quite yet. Gets so low, but manages to stay alive and get the healing. New Epic Elite have put themselves on the point, but they need to start finding some kills. Self-destruct not going to get them that. Solstice and I mean LMB are down, and with Halix falling as well, it's looking bad for Zuimama. Trace down 2, and it's just Solstice and Golden Eric on the point. A desperation Lucio stall, probably not going to last long enough. He does get a boop onto Dogfighter over on the side, but the cap comes through, Wick burns down, and New Epic Elite going to strike first, going to take Nepal.
Zuimama unfortunately didn't quite make those good emergency swaps there at the end. We saw the soldier, it didn't really work out. I mean, LMB, good idea on the Doomfist, but execution a little lacking. You could see he got a little too reckless there and realized the team needed to move into them, and that's the kind of engagement you want to take. If they're scrambling to get to the point, that's when when they're not quite focusing on you can get a lot of key abilities off here. But you know what? Great pulse bomb, great play from Trace in general, and it wasn't enough.
Well, what might be enough is our beautiful analysts over on the desk. We're going to bring them back in to talk about Nepal.
So both teams pretty evenly matched here. Great surprise here. What was the difference maker, though, in your opinion, Swan, when it came to these teams?
Let's see. How their approach is on aggression. Both of these teams, they're really, really aggressive. You can see, especially on that last fight, which was kind of the big turning point for New Epic Elite. Zuimama, I think it was Trace. He went in too deep. He went in trying to get any stragglers that there could be. He played too aggressively, and as soon as they took him out, that was the opportunity that New Epic Elite needed to push on through and flip the point for that last fight. So what I could say for sorry, what I could say for Zui Mama is you could play as aggressive, but learn when to back off.
And from what I saw there, you know, there was not really too much of a disparity when it came to compositions. I don't think anyone was running anything that was kind of weird or anything too crazy. So was the difference really just a little bit of execution like you mentioned?
Yeah, it's just general playstyle, like I said before. Just know how you're going to engage in fights and know when they're going to stop or just start slowing down. It's kind of like a book. You start out the fight, it's the rising action. You get to the middle of the fight, the climax. And then as soon as you know that the climax of the fight is winding down, the falling action, you just start slowing down from there, start backing off, waiting for the next fight.
All right, well, we will see how that plays out here as we head to the PC Bong to see see just what's going to happen here. It's open 24 hours, unlike our cast here, so let's make sure this is a good one here, Possible and Beatdown.
I think these teams gonna make sure it's a good one more than enough. I'm excited to see this Widow duel happening here on downtown. I think it's a very important map for those Widowmakers to be popping off, and Zoros been showing us a little bit of that on Nepal. So we're gonna see who can pop off a little bit harder. Ooh, Trace actually finds the better of Zoros first in this fight. Now it's a 6v5 in favor of Zui Mama as they're trying to push them back. They find Potato as well. And this is sort of just going to be where New Epic Elite opt to wait it out.
The objective is now.
A good opening fight here from Zui Mama, doing really well to get that first pick and take advantage of it. Still, props to New Epic Elite for backing up on time. They're already going for this recontest now, but rotating to the opposite end here, and are going to try to make their contest soon.
Yeah, contest already comes in a little bit. The dive over onto the high ground. Main tank's trying to find value, but meanwhile, LMB off in the back line. No one to protect Zilf and Zoros. The Tracer runs rampant. Now Zui Mama have a heavy player advantage going into this, and they're just going to push New Epic Elite out nice and easy. Oof. LMB popping off.
I mean, it's not often I get to even criticize the choices in the dive composition just with how strong Goats is, but I kind of wonder about Potato onto this Genji here. You know, there's not a lot of high ground that a Genji would benefit over the Tracer, so I would like to think he should swap, but he has the Dragon Blade right now. Sylph almost has the Nano, so it might be worth trying to hold on at least one more fight, see if this combo can get something.
And the walls are out as well. Oh, already New Epic Elite falling one by one. Everyone on Zui Mama wants a taste of the action here. And now New Epic Elite just gonna go for an early reset. They got shut out hard in that fight.
And unfortunately, no value from the Dragon Blade now. It looks like New Epic Elite are making this swap onto the Goats comp. Gonna lose a lot of ult charge, unfortunately, but they still have this incipient Nano. They have the sound barrier. So they still have some tools in the chest here if they want to be able to take this point from Zui Mama too, who have some ults of their own.
And now there's nothing to deal with. Trace up on the high ground can find a lot of damage on that Widowmaker. Assuming they have the sightline, sound barrier, self-destruct both coming out. Self-destruct finds Sylph. Nano on to Doge Fighter, not going to net any kind of value here as the brawl not quite favoring New Epic Elite as of yet, but as I say that, 2 picks do come through. It is taking up here to 99%. Zui Mama falling one by one. They're gonna opt to reset here. Not gonna try and commit to this one. They've got plenty of time.
Well, the worst part is Zui Mama used a few ults before losing the point here, but luckily they aren't gonna lose much here for swapping. Oh, but LMB going down a little early is not ideal. We're seeing more swaps from Zui Mama, actually. They're going for the Ryan Zarya now, the McCree. It looks like, LMB. Oh, no, they're going actually for a McCree break for the DPS combination here. Usually seen with dive tanks, but still a lot to be done here. You make space, you let them do damage. It can really work out.
We'll see if Trace can find the shots up on the high ground above most of New Epic Elite. Gets zoned out a bit as the shatter comes through from Doge Fighter. And with that, the cleanup is coming through as well. Oh, and that team kill bell gonna ding nice and loud.
Good opening pin onto Halix there. So much damage onto him. Even though the Shatter didn't seem like it got him alone, all it took was a few slings to take him out of the fight. Now, Trace wants to deal with this tank-heavy composition. He's going for the Doomfist instead, wants that burst damage, but it's really all going to be about can he land all his abilities because he needs to confirm kills for his team.
Ooh, confirming kills first is Solace against Slash, but now the kill's coming the other way as they're caught in a Graviton. Zui Mama had a nice opening into that fight, but they just weren't prepared. They didn't have a diva to try and soak up that Graviton from Potato. Now, 75% and counting.
Well, this just shows how dangerous it is to swap so late in the game here, abandoning all this potential ult percentage. And because New Epic Elite swapped earlier, they have been living off the ults that they've been banking and cycling. And again, Earthshatter!
Earthshatter comboed beautifully with not only the nano, but a nice bio coming out from Sylph, hiding around the corner. Gonna clean this one up. Golden Eric over on the side, going to be able to get there for the contest, but he's all alone, and White's just a Lucio against the world here, and he has almost no health, can't even make it back. And with that, New Epic Elite going to fire first on Busan.
Crazy ult economy being such a big factor here. Like I was saying, New Epic Elite being able to, start early on the swap game. They swapped to the Goats comp a lot earlier than we saw Zui Mama swap. Because of that, they built up a lot of ults, and although they had a tough hill to climb, capturing it at basically 99%, they had so many ults that they could just cycle them properly and just keep Zui Mama, who was, who didn't have any ults to begin with, at bay for basically 100 seconds.
5, 4,
Yeah, well, we'll see who at bay as we head over into the mecha base. Very different meta here, but Zui Mama running out with an interesting composition.
There's a lot of room here for the Pharah to do some work, but the Pharah's going to have to stay back. Got to use all this architecture. That's what we're seeing Trace do right now.
Well, you say staying back, but actually does the opposite of what you suggest. Gets right in their face and gets punished for it. No res available either. Fuchsia not managing to get that one to come through. Now with Iron LMB, no damage for Zui Mama to work with. They do find Slash, but with Halix going down, Zui Mama going to have to back up as New Epic Elite cap the point.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for Trace on this Pharah now to get through this first part and, get the serious airtime that he's going to need to get the damage in. On top of that, yeah, Iron LMB is going to swap out the Doomfist. Wasn't able to find any value. Would rather play the Brig. Probably for the best, but still, it's going to be tough for Zui Mama to get through this door right now. Dogefighter already has the Earth Shatter. And it got canceled!
It's having to shatter. Oh, it got canceled, but the kill's still coming through for New Epic Elite regardless. They find that aggression, the healing just not sustaining Zui Mama enough. See the benefit of that Ana over the Mercy as New Epic Elite hold on to this yet again.
Trace, you should have swapped off this Pharah a while ago. Now you have the Rocket Barrage. I know you want to keep it, but how's the Pharah going to get any value here?
Oh, it's going to be hard to find value. Ult's going left and right, up and down, and it's King with the triple kill to secure this team fight for New Epic Elite. Beautiful placement there. Goes through the door, but still manages to find that nice angle. New Epic Elite looking solid to hold.
Yeah, 50% and counting. New Epic Elite feeling no concern whatsoever. Golden Eric on Zui Mama swaps to the Moira. They still want to keep this Pharah. I mean, finally Trace is in the air, but can he find the value, and is it going to be worth it?
It's going to have to come up huge, and yet another Shatter coming out! Locks Zui Mama down before Trace can get the barrage to even go. Doesn't find any value, and now basically one fight territory.
Yeah, just about by the time Zui Mama get out of the spawn and set themselves up, this is going to be their last fight here. Now we're going to see some swaps here to Ana Goats, but man, too little, too late. You're going to have to do some huge individual plays if you're Zui Mama, if you want to actually cap.
It's real PogChamp hours here if Zui Mama want to stay alive, not only in the map, in the series, and Halix going down makes it very difficult for them to secure this. Trace losing the mech as well. Rally's coming out both sides, going to sustain a little bit here. A grab gonna lock Iron LMB down. He's the only one really caught in it, and he manages to stay alive. So reinforcements coming in from Zui Mama might get here in time to keep them alive in this series. The self-destruct overhead as New Epic Elite clean this one up. It's just the Reinhardt on the point. getting taken down yet again. It's the Lucio against the world. Won't be enough. And as the shatter comes down to clean Trace up, it will be New Epic Elite taking AG Weekly 130.
It is real PogChamp hours, and unfortunately, New Epic Elite are the only ones awake. Once again, taking Zui Mama out of the AG Weekly Finals.
God, I like that.
Hey, thank you.
It's funny.
I know. I make funny jokes. Fun fact.
Good humor, as it were. But we'll see if the desk has any good humor, or rather, good analysis, hopefully, at least, for this last map of AG Weekly 130.
Gotta start by just saying, man, it was so much closer on the first map than it was on the second map. In fact, Zui Mama was looking like their dive was just a force to be reckoned with. But as soon as Goats came out, just didn't really have the damage to get those kills past maybe even the first one. So, Swan, break it down for us here. What's the difference there? Why was it so much harder, especially in the hangar, to get those kills for Zui Mama?
Well, I think one factor that came into it was that they played an actual team. A team that knew how to work together and execute Goats to a pretty good extent that we saw here. Like Zui Mama, they ran through the bracket pretty easily. Like, no argument there. So they didn't really have much competition when it came to their dive attack against Goats. And they're just beating up lesser teams once they played against an actual team who knew how to play Goats and who knew how to punish anything that Zui Mama was going to go in on. They just fell apart right after that.
All right. Any other commentary from anyone here, folks? Swan, maybe one more piece of advice here that you would give for Zui Mama going forward here, because they're such a strong team. They were holding their own against Epic Elite there. What's the difference maker? Where do they go and practice after this?
Just start working on, like, I like the dive buster that they're having for Goats. You just get more practice on that, and maybe theorycraft a little bit more. Figure out how to break Goats, I would say.
Well,
I can say that for every team.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if Zui Mama's the one to figure out how to break Goats, be sure to let us know, because I'm sure the entire world would like to figure that out. I really just think it was that reluctancy to swap there on hangar base that really spelled their doom. I think it's such a momentum-based meta, especially when it comes to the 3-3 compositions we see come out. New Epic Elite, once they got that ult advantage, it didn't have much trouble holding on to it.
All right. Well, with that, we are going to wrap things up here for the AG Weekly number 130. Congratulations to our winners, New Epic Elite. Zui Mama not able to get the revenge this time, but maybe next week. Be sure to check it out. We'll see if the story will unfold differently at that time. Here are the ways you can follow us and find us. We are on @HXC9 on Twitter and right here at HXC9 on Twitch. Check out the YouTube at HX9. 3-character YouTube name. You can't get those anymore, by the way. Thank you, 2006. Also, be sure to follow our other casters here as well. Of course, they host HXZ9. Follow me on those channels as well. But we got Beatdown Boulevard at Natty1337. We got Pulsable at Pulsable Media. And Swan at Swan_OW. The OW stands for Overwatch, if you didn't realize that. I don't know if you should be watching this cast. No, you should definitely be doing so. That's it, though. We'll see you next time.